Give me thumbs up if you are able to see.
Yes.
Okay, so tonight we have a special agenda, and I'm pretty positive you all will enjoy it. So when you talk about QA career path, right, there are two words that are very popular. One is Java. That's a programming aspect, right? So Java programming is very important. The second thing is, the most important thing is Selenium, web automation. Now, when somebody say web means web application. So anytime when you talk about web application, Amazon.com, Facebook.com, BankOfAmerica.com, JPMorgan.com, you just think about any application which you are accessing on your browser. Mostly you are using through computer, through your browser, which is called web. You can also access those in a mobile, but mostly you are accessing through browser. Now, web application perspective, Selenium is one of the most popular framework in the world. At this moment, there are many frameworks are available, but Selenium is still a very big leader. There are other frameworks, they are top on Selenium, or they're using similar context as Selenium. So if you already know Selenium, you can do almost any kind of work. So Google came up with a new framework called Protector. Protector is very similar as Selenium, but it's more designed for UI, browser-based UI. UI means user interface. But Selenium itself is more Java-based. Now tonight, we're going to cover a very interesting concept called record and play. Speak with me. Record and play. Now, when we say record and play, it's kind of old concept. So I'll tell you one story about that record and play in a few minutes. So like story started this way. When we started, like I've been in IT industry for many years, but I would say in 2000, 2001, the only popular browser was Netscape. Now Netscape was the very popular browser, and Netscape actually was the only one available browser in 2001. So everyone likes Netscape, Netscape Navigator. During that time, the Selenium concept started. Before people started using QTP, which is people were using that, and then QTP becomes UFT, which is like what you call HP or Mercury products. Very popular product, but it's very paid product, very expensive product, licensing, and it works very peculiar way. And people don't want to pay money. More people, more money you have to pay. So during this exercise, people were looking open source. Now Selenium was evolving. Selenium started when most people have a challenge because Selenium was Java and troubleshooting was hard. Writing code was hard. So then Netscape came up with a very interesting concept called Selenium IDE. So Netscape came up with a very interesting concept called Selenium IDE, where I stands for integrated, D stands for development, and E stands for environment. So since 2000, I believe 3 or 4, Netscape was introducing Selenium IDE. After that, Firefox came. It was still supported by Selenium IDE. And every time new browser comes, Selenium IDE was updated. So any QA students have started their career around 2004, 2005, they must know Selenium IDE because it's a savior. Means if you want to do something, if you want to debug something, if you want to do fast something, there was no other options. Trust me. Myself, I can tell you, I know Java in and out, but writing QA automation was a painful initially. And Selenium IDE was like kind of pain reliever. People love it. I used to teach here and 2010, 11, 12, 13, up to 14. 2014, Selenium IDE was winner. But then 2015, Firefox released a version 97. Some reason they forgot that there is a called Selenium IDE. And they did not do for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. So all the QA people in the world will have a challenge. Why? Because it was like a crutches, in case if you know what is crutches mean. If you are a QA automation engineer, you love this thing. Why? Because it gives you what you call runway. It allows you to do more work quicker and faster. But suddenly it stopped. So I felt like, how do I teach this class? So what we did timing, we asked everyone to go older version So even the market was moving forward, we were moving backward. Why? Because that's the only way it works. But the funny part, auto update kicks in. So even I go to 94, after next day it goes to 97 and it doesn't work. And I said, now enough is enough, let's stop. So we stopped teaching Selenium IDE. During that time, there is new light came. There is a new hope came. And the hope came that Selenium IDE was only working for Firefox and Netscape. Now Google was very popular. Microsoft came up with a new concept called Microsoft Edge, and Apple came up with their Safari and others, Opera and all. And Selenium IDE doesn't work for them. So what should we do? So the company at that time, Katalon. So Katalon company came up with this, hey, we'll do the same thing as Selenium IDE is doing, same thing, but it will work for all browsers. So you are now no longer married with one browser. Old fashioned, we used to marry with only Firefox. Our testing only happens in Firefox. And if it works Firefox, we will think it will work in IE or Google Chrome, because people were using Firefox more often than Google Chrome and IE. But after Katalon, I can tell you, I don't think anyone remember even Selenium IDE. But when you go in interview, people will ask you question. Do you know Selenium IDE? Even though you're not using, because it's a bookish. The question answer written in 2001, and do you know Selenium IDE? Today they should ask, do you know Katalon? Right? But who cares? In a job description, they will say, do you know Selenium IDE? So you should say yes, because Katalon did 100% matching. Whatever you can do in Selenium IDE, you can do in Katalon. Now Katalon came up with much more better. It supports all browsers. It supports all browsers. Now it works in all browsers. Now you can use Chrome, you can use IE, doesn't matter. And it works as a Selenium IDE, like record and play. So any beginner person who wants to do QA automation, they will start with Selenium IDE or /Katalon IDE. So today is the first class, and I don't want to scare you. Selenium is easy if you know Java. There is no complexity at all. Technically speaking, it's a lot easier than Java. Lot easier. If I say degree-wise, 1 to 5, where 5 is the max. So Java might be 3, and Selenium is 1, complexity-wise. It's easy to learn Selenium than Java. But because my goal was to take you to the advanced level, that's why I was teaching Java at that level, where you not only perform basic, but you perform advanced. Once you know Java, to be honest with you, you can do anything. I know sometimes it may take a week or 2 or 10 weeks, but you will be able to do. It won't be like, oh, I don't know. You won't use that. I know the concept. If I try a little bit extra, I can figure it out. Because many companies looks for that advanced depth knowledge of Java. Now, Katalon is record and play, so it's all browser based. So there are advantage and disadvantage. So there will be a question in your interview. Can I not use only record and play? Selenium, Katalon IDE, record and play. Why would I need a Selenium then? Why would I need Java? Shouldn't be easy. Things you may have. So first of all, it is easy, but it's not reliable. You say, what does that mean? So easy means you can do it, but then when you try to do it consistently, it's not working. It might work one time, it might work in 2 times, but it is not guaranteed it will work all the time. Because it is depend on your computer, it depends on your browser, it depends on your browser size, it depends on so many things. If small pop-up comes up, that's it. If you click somewhere, that's it. If your screen is smaller, then it captures smaller. So it does not have reliability. To solve that problem, you have to combine record and play with Selenium. The Selenium is reliable. Both works in a cross browser. Cross browser means IE, Firefox, Mozilla, Opera, everything. It works, both works. But record and play is easy to create a script, but it is not reliable. What does it mean? You take it, but you have to customize it in order to make it reliable. What is reliable means when I run my test, if it works one time, and if I run 10 times, I need to see successful result 10 times. Make sense or no? Because if it works 8 times and 2 times it doesn't work, it gives me false alarm. Do you agree or not? And false alarm means I will say, oh, test failed. Then people will debug, but it was a false alarm. There was no error. It was a Selenium IDE problem or Katalon IDE problem. So far, so good. Now, Katalon itself is a company and they are providing various tools. Just like you're using Eclipse, they have a Katalon Studio. So many companies where you will work, example, you go to JP Morgan or you go to Northern Trust or maybe you go to Nokia and others, they are using Katalon IDE and Katalon Studio. If you use Katalon Studio, you have to pay money. You have to pay money. So, of course, it is going to give better and richer functionality. Most companies use Katalon Studio because it does have record and play, but it also gives you Eclipse type of environment. Makes sense or no? So you can do much better and easier way. You can pick like which browser to run. You can do all kind of things. But we are going to use browser-based plugin. Browser-based plugin is free. There is no additional cost. But Katalon Studio for development edition is free. But if you are working for a company, then it is expensive. You don't need to install Katalon Studio because we will use NetBeans with Selenium. Make sense or not? And I will show you step by step. So far, so good. Any questions? If somebody said record and play, what thing comes in your mind?
Audio cassette.
Audio cassette. Record and play means you can rewind and replay, right? So all the exercise, I'm going to draw the pictures and walk you through. So first of all, let's concept-wise. So concept-wise, what we will be doing is we have Google Chrome. So this is our Google Chrome. Now in Google Chrome, we will install plugin. So we'll install a plugin that will be called Katalon plugin. Google allows to install plugin. It takes hardly a minute or two to install plugin. It's free. Once you write the plugin, then we can enable that plugin. And when we enable the plugin, we get a dialog box. We get a dialog box. In dialog box, we can say, I want to create a suite. The question is, what is suite? Now, in America, people use suite like this. This is called suite. But normally people call suite, right? Don't speak that. What are you going to say? Suite. Make sense? Don't say suite. Suite, right? Just like a sweet, sugar sweet, right? If you use suite, it means this look awkward. Most people in QA world, they will say suite. Make sense? Okay. What does it mean? Collections of test cases. Collections of test cases. Inside that, you can write test cases. You can say test case 1, you can write test case 2. So whenever I say suite, it's a bunch of test cases. Now, generally, you create a suite based on a module. So example, if I'm testing, let's say admin, then admin module suite. So they can say admin suite. If I'm testing, let's say shopping cart, then there will be a separate suite for shopping cart. Make sense or not? If I'm doing payment, then there should be a separate suite for payment. Now, my request is don't rely all the time to Katalon IDE, but use Katalon IDE as a kickstart. Why? Because Katalon IDE, whatever you do as a manually, whatever step you do manually, Katalon IDE will capture that as a Java. It will capture as a Java. Even though you do not know Selenium, it will write Selenium for you. If you ask me, it will do 80% work for you. So if you do not use Katalon IDE, then the task will take maybe 8 hours. If you use Katalon IDE and the steps which I show you, tasks may take 20 minutes. So from 8 hours, you can reduce to 20 minutes. What we call productivity gain or not?
Yes.
Productivity gain. But if you try to rely only Katalon IDE, then you will have a disappointment. But if you do mix match, get the best thing from Katalon IDE, and then take a best thing from Selenium, then trust me, people will like you. Why? Because you will be more productive and you can go and do more activity. So far, so good. So we need to have plugin. Plugin will be installed in a browser, right? Which we will use Chrome. So for that, I have created an entire forum. I just want to make sure you have access to that forum also. I want to just quickly give you a clue. So everything, if you can log into the forum, that would be nice because we will be using a lot of code today from forum. So I'll walk you through. So you can log into our Infrared forum. In case if you do not know, go to About Us, go to forum, right? About Us, right? Forum. And once you log in, go to quality assurance. And in quality assurance, you are going to say Katalon, record and play. I'm going to add the link here in the chat room in case if you want to access straightforward, make sure you have access or account. If you have account, you should be able to access it.
Watch as much as you can now, so that it's easier on Sunday if we were.
So when you are able to access, that will be perfectly fine. Okay. Now, I'm hoping that you are able to slowly and steadily able to log in. Meantime, I will walk you through what it is. I want you to read about it because some of the things will help you for interview. Tonight, homework is coming from this forum. So it's very important. I added forum in your agenda. I added this forum in your homework. So you will not say, huh? Where is this forum? Where is the homework? Don't email me, please. Right? It's all well documented. You must have seen agenda. You must have seen in homework. It's all will be there. They may ask about what is Katalon features. Of course, the most important feature is record and play. You can write without any help. Even I can say a kid can do it. Even the fourth grader can do it. It's that easy. It's fast, right? It's compatible with many browsers. It supports HTML type of code, and it also has some kind of flow you can write. However, these kind of thing, data-driven and all you can do, but this kind of thing, it is not that easy. For that, we are going to use our Java Selenium. So tonight, I will make simple program working. Next week, we're going to cover data-driven testing. So when you are going for interview, there are three to four type of segmentation question will ask. So record and play, which we will cover tonight. Then Selenium data-driven testing. So there are three type of testing people say: data-driven testing, or key-driven testing, or hybrid. So data-driven testing means you read data from Excel file, from CSV file, from JSON file. Your Java should not hard code data, which I will cover next week. Or sometimes you write key also. Your Java should not write hard-coded things. So key you can also put it in Excel file or JSON file. So when you go to an advanced company, maybe Facebook or others, they will be using such kind of framework. So if you see job description, they will say data-driven framework, key-driven framework. Those kind of expectations will be there, which means strong Java knowledge is required. If somebody has data-driven, means strong Java. Key-driven strong means 80% Java and 20% Selenium. Make sense? That's why I already prepared you for that. Interface, either, has all those things will be very handy. Okay. But tonight, you don't have to worry about it. Then they will definitely ask you questions about comparison. As I mentioned before, they both are very simple. They're both very simple. But you can see here, it was working only in Firefox. Now this works on almost all browsers. And it was everything is same. As I mentioned before, Katalon, they did copy, exact copy, and they made it free for browser, but they are charging for Studio. So if company is using Studio, then they will charge you. So far so good. We are only using right now record and play plugin. Please understand, we are not using Studio. But if you want to download for your own experiment purpose, I would strongly suggest you don't have to, but you have to learn it out, see it. Again, they have a very similar functionality as Eclipse. You can do that. They also use some like a Python, Ruby. You can use any language. They support that. You can write the same test case in C#, Python, Ruby, Java. There are tons of language. Katalon also supports that. So far, so good. So you can see the only difference here is, what is the difference? Is support only.
And otherwise
that's the only difference. Do you agree? Now, as I go further, let's start. If you're already here in the browser, then let's get started. We can install the plugin. So I already added a link here. This link is, it will help us to install plugins. So if you click on that, if you're already here, you can click on it. In case if you're not there, I can click it and I'll get the link and provide you in a chat room. It's a good idea that you are in my forum, so that way you can follow the flow correctly. So I'm going to click on the recorder. So when I click on the recorder, it's going to take me to the plugin. And you can see here, I already have it. That's why it's a remove from Chrome. In your case, it will say install to Chrome, right? Add to Chrome. You just click it, and within a few seconds, it will install and it will restart your browser, I believe, right? You should be able to do it in a couple of minutes, I would say. So take your time and let me know. Give me thumbs up if you are able to install. People on phone, just give me thumbs up if you are able to install. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Right? I try to do all homework prior to the class because it will save so much time. Otherwise, unnecessary, the same class will become 2-3 extra classes. I want to make sure we avoid that. Any questions so far? Installing plugin? Suki, good, awesome. I'm hoping that all of you are following me. In case if you are having tough time or any problem, please pick up. You don't have to worry about anything because everything is in forum. So now we install plugin. When we install plugin, when I install plugin, please understand. When you install plugin, let me minimize this thing. Now I will open a new Chrome. So I'm opening a new Chrome, or you can use the same Chrome, doesn't matter. But I'm going to open a new Chrome. So I'm opening a new Chrome. I hope everyone understands. Opening new Chrome means right click here and open a Chrome. Always see on the screen. Otherwise, you will be in parking lot and I'll be in Chicago. Make sure you pay attention because this is like easiest thing in the world. And I don't want you to feel like, oh my God, this is hard. If this is hard, then Selenium is 10 times harder than this. Okay, this is like a complexity wise 0.01, not even 0.01 complexity wise. If you don't pay attention, it's not my fault at all. I will be very honest with you, because then you will be remaining in a parking lot. The entire bus will go to Chicago. Make sense? Now we are here. If you see on the top, there is a leaves kind of symbol. Do you agree? Click on it. So when you click on that, you will see a Katalon there. Say yes. Okay. Click on it. Little smile. Always pay attention, and you will have fun. So click on it. So you will get a dialog box like this. It means you have installed successfully. Give me thumbs up. So far, so good. Right? Don't worry if you don't see anything, this thing, because I have done this thing tired. So don't worry about this thing. Okay? Don't worry about this thing. I said that. Do not worry. You will have a completely different view. So I'm going to delete whatever I have. So just you can see how I delete. You don't have anything, so you don't have to worry about. But just see how I'm deleting. So in case tomorrow, if you want to delete, you won't have any problem. Oops, I should have done that. No. Delete. Save this test case. No, I don't want to delete this.
Social, mine want me to create an account.
Yeah, you create an account. Yes, create an account if it is asking you. If it is, but there's a button called skip it. If you carefully read it. So you are in a parking lot right now. We are on a bus. We are moving towards Chicago, Silas. There's a button called skip it. There's a link.
Oh, there's no skip button, so that's fine.
No, it's there. Check. Everyone got it. I also had a skip. There is a link or skip there. No need to create an account. No, but you can create an account. You can create it and it's not going to hurt at all. Just I'll wait for you. Quickly create an account so you can get started. Okay. How many of you needed an account, or without account you guys able to do, right? Because I did it without account.
There's another page opens up which says to open an account. However, but the Katalon recorder plugin already got installed.
Yeah, I did not
want to check it.
Yeah, I did not create an account, but you don't need to create an account.
There's an extra tab opens up automatically.
Yeah.
You need to close that.
Yeah, so extra tab. I think people are saying there is another window opens. You may want to close that. Yeah, that's what I showed, right? Let me stop it again. So when you see this thing will show up, right? And when you click on this, you will see Katalon recorder, right? Even you create an account is not going to hurt you. So you can create an account if it is helping you to install, not a problem. I don't think they will send you junk email because these are very good company. And when you do that, I just want you to be in this page. Okay. If you are here, you have successfully installed the Katalon recorder. Now I want you to stop completely. See what I do. I will do one, what do you call it, dry run. Speak with me, dry run. So you can see the mechanism. I always like to teach mechanism. I always tell people, if you don't understand mechanism, then repetition will not happen. So I'm kind of good in mechanism because mechanism means once I do successful, 99% I'll do successful. I don't like to do trial and error in certain cases because there are certain things are mechanical, like example, step 1, step 2, step 3. So I want you to see and relax. We're going to do 2, 3 exercise. So if you are not able to do first exercise, you will be able to do second. And if you are not able to do second, you will be able to do 3. And if you are not able to do 3, you can still watch recording and you can able to do it. Make sense or not? Goal of the exercise tonight, when we go home, we should know Katalon. That's for sure. Okay. Make sure you see the steps, but you close your eyes, and if you don't pay attention, you do multitasking, then you're missing big thing because I will be using Katalon every day because Katalon does 80% work for me and 20% Selenium I'll do. If you don't understand this easy tool, then you will be doing pretty hard work. You are planning to do 100% work, which will take longer and tougher, right? So I use this thing for real life and it saves my days because a person normally does 8 hours, I can do in less than 1 hour, same task, because I use this power tool. This is the power tool, okay? So don't do it. I know you are tempted to do, we are going to do second exercise together. But right now, just see here. Can I have full attention? Okay, good. So anytime you start, you always need to understand the tool a little bit. So this is our biggest friend. Run. Anytime we record, it means to start recording. But before you record, the step 1 is always test suite. Test suite. We need to create a suite. So that way, it's a bunch of test cases we can create. The second, you create test cases. Make sense? So first you create test suite, and then you create test cases. I can create a bunch of test cases here. Make sense? Each test cases will have test steps. So test suite has a test cases and test cases have test steps. Pretty good. Now, when you do record, anytime human action, if you're clicking, typing, any human action, it will capture. So mostly typing or clicking. But if your browser, some reason open a tiny box and you click, it will capture it. So it is not guaranteed that 5 people will do the steps and all steps will be same. It won't be. That's why it's not reliable. Today, let's example some cookie pop-up soda and you click on it, it will capture it. Or if your window is tiny, then it will capture that tiny window. So next time when you use the same script in a desktop, it may not work because the pixels will be different. Make sense or no? So you need to understand all things as you go further. You may have a little pain initially, but I'm pretty positive you will know how to navigate it, right? Because the problems you are going to get, those I know very well. And I'm going to tell you this problem you will have, this problem you will have, okay? Again, depend on your machine, it may capture faster or it takes slow. So right now my machine is kind of reasonably good. So I'm going to start, check it out. You don't have to do anything, relax, see here. So first of all, there is a test suite side here. So I have a play button here. So I'm going to see, is there anyone in there? There is nothing here. So you can see there is no, so there is a plus button. So through that, I can initiate the test suite. So first thing I'm going to create test suite. So I'm going to click here. Please don't do anything right now. Relax, and then I'll give you time. So I'm going to say test suite 1. Okay. And okay. Was it hard? Easy, right? Now, if I move my mouse, there's a plus button. Now I'm hoping you guessed it. What am I going to do now?
Test case.
test case. So I'm going to write test case. So Google is my best friend. So I'll say Google test case. And I'm done. So far, so good. Did I create suite? Did I create test case? What did not create yet?
Steps.
Test steps. If you understood that, you understood everything. Suite, test case, test steps. But when I do test steps, I will do manually. I'm going to do manually. But this tool will do capture for me. And the tool will give me a way I can do amazing work. So now relax and enjoy. As soon as I click on record button, it will open the browser. Because I've installed this plugin in Google Chrome, it's going to open the Google Chrome, where it will give me URL where I can write the URL, right? The address bar, I will write the URL. And whatever I am going to do, step by step, it will capture the test cases. Now, there are two types of thoughts. Some people like to add step here manually. Some people like to change thought manually, so change step manually. Some people like to do delete step manually. Some people do that. But record and play itself is not reliable. Then why would I spend time when I know this journey is not reliable? I would rather do this thing in Selenium. Make sense or no? I do not do any customization here. I just say, get me the 80% value. And the rest of 20% value, I'll do in a NetBeans. So while I'm doing this exercise, I will show you the steps. The first exercise, we'll just do Katalon. And then after a break, we'll do Katalon. And then we'll say Katalon export. Export everything in a TestNG. Export everything in a TestNG. And then we'll do same thing in NetBeans. In NetBeans, when we do that, it will be pure Java and pure Selenium. And I can give you 100% confidence it works 100% reliable. But most of the work will come from here. You'll be surprised. I hardly will write 1 or 2 lines. Everything will come from here. So that's why it's very important that we understand Katalon. So far, so good. So now I'm going to start recording. Make sure you see here. So I'm going to click on record. So it's going to give me browser. Check it out. Please don't ignore me. Did you get a browser? And you have to be careful. Don't go too fast because sometimes it takes time to capture. So I'm going to say Google. I type and press enter. So you will see on the right bottom side, it will capture as I type. Okay, ready? So you can see I am typing basketball. And as soon as I press enter, you will see on right bottom side, something Katalon pop-up will come and it will capture something. Did you notice that? Right? And then I can search like this, like example, I want to search this result. And write anything, I click on that, I can say now, I Katalon, I want to say verify text or assert text. So here, verify text. So it also captured. Now I want to see what did it capture. So you can see so much things it captured. So I'm going to now stop it. Now let's try to understand. It has its own language, but I'm not going to learn this thing because I know it's not reliable. But you can see how nicely it does. It is called, this is called key. So you can see open. So open, create, it opened the browser. So tomorrow, let's say you are hired for Facebook. Then this URL will be Facebook. Then type means when you type something. So what did I type? I typed basketball. But it picked this thing called name equal to Q. Now, did it pick arbitrary or there is a rationale behind it? There is a rationale behind it. I'll show you. Okay, don't do along with me. I want you to understand because this is the mechanism. Once you understand mechanism, lifetime you will not have a problem. Okay. Second, the send keys, which is nothing but enter. And that is also I'm doing enter on the same thing. So the name queue is nothing but the text box in the Google. The text box which you see here, where I type basketball. And that text box name is the queue. They have name as a queue. And when I press enter, I'm going to next page. Now as I click, so it does XPath. So I'll teach you how XPath works tonight. Then verify text, which is nothing but assertion. As a QA, you will do two things, interview question, verify and assert. Speak with me, verify and assert. Very important question in interview. Relax, okay? As I said before, we are only going to do one lab, and that lab is Katalon. Relax, but just make sure you understand fundamental. So they may ask, what is the difference between verify versus assert? So what happened when you do QA work, you will be testing so many things. Now, when you're testing that, if you use verify, and assert, then what happens? Something happened wrong. Then verify will know that it happened wrong, but it will still allow you to continue. So verify will detect that something wrong, but it will allow you to continue. While assert, as soon as it detects something wrong, it stops there. So is it a good idea to write assert everywhere? If you write assert here, then you will, if fail here, then you're done. This will not run at all. So it's a very good idea to do verify, and assert. Because verify means checkpoint, you're checking, but you're not failing. Checkpoint also will tell this is not right at the end, but it will still continue. Do you agree or not? So it's very important that you should use verify because it's a checkpoint. So example, when somebody give me, hey, party time, you come to my house on Saturday. Normally people don't call, but nowadays, but if they call, I ask, how do I know that I'm coming to your house? Give me some milestones. So say there will be a wall green and there will be a tree, there will be light. So I verify wall green, check. Tree, check. If I don't get wall green, what am I going to do? I'm going to call him, hey, there is no wall green. Yes or no? But it's not going to stop me because I know as I get a verify, I will reach to the destination. But at the end, I need to assert that house number has to be same. I cannot knock other house. So at the last, I would like to fail. I don't want to go someone else's house. Do you agree or not? So it's very important, verify, but the assert at the last, because then test case will fail completely. So verify and assert, clear? Okay. Now, this is all steps it does. Along with that, it does log here. So you will see some log. It does also screenshots. It allows also variables and all. It has a lot of versatile details. But to be honest with you, I don't want you to spend tons of time in Katalon record and play. Because I'll be honest with you, people don't like it because they don't know how to how to make use of it. The reason they don't like, you know why? Do you know why they don't like? They don't like because of only one reason. It's not reliable. It's not reliable. But I always think if you are failing because it's not reliable, your entire value you're losing. I do agree it's not reliable, but it is doing 80% work. Why can't you take that value? Make sense or not? Means people don't know because someone told them, hey, it's not reliable. Don't use Katalon record and play. I hate record and play. I completely understand, but there is a value. Make sense or no? That value they don't know. So that's why they try to spend everything manually. They try and they are losing the value. So I just want to make sure don't spend too much time. Maximum time which I spend here, I have got the value here. Now you say, what is this value means? Educate me. I'll show you something. You may like it. Majority people don't like this, but they don't know this. Check it out. Did you notice that I did not write any of the command? I just click. Now see the magic. You go to export. Do you see this export? In export, if you click on export, you get options here where you can export in any language of your choice. So if you can say, I want to see all my test steps in TestNG, and ta-da! It writes all code for me. And it takes me only 2 minutes to complete my task. If I don't use Katalon, then I have to write each and every line. And trust me, I can give you guarantee, no smart person in the world can write this in 2 minutes. Because you have to think about it. And you have to remember it. You have to type, you have to cut and paste. Why you go to those hassles if somebody gives you 100% code? The only change I need to make is few lines here and there. So this is my test case. It completely write my test case. I am not going to write any change here. It's beautifully write all code, 100% code. I'm going to do some little bit here and there change, but everything is going to work. It also write all my import statements. Do you see that? It does almost everything, all what I need. Before class, after class. Remember we talk about G in TestNG? It does everything. It also give me hint here that you need a WebDriver. So I want these things. Make sense? So we'll do that part maybe after break. But now I want to cancel this. I don't want to do much here. So now I want to test it out. Is this recorder did right or wrong? So they have a button called play test case or play test suite. What's the difference? Test case means only run one. And test case means all test case should run. So if you have 3 test cases, suite will run one by one all. So 1, 2, 3. So if you want to run all test cases, you can do suite. If you want to run one, you do test case. So I'm going to run now. See, I'm not going to click at all and magic will start. Check it out. Browser will open. It will write basketball. Pretty good. If it is right, then at the end of the day, I will have all green color. But trust me, I don't get all the time green color. I get red color. And the reason I get red color, today is a lucky day. Everything is green, right? So now if I run again couple of times, you'll be surprised. Same thing may not work in a second or third time. Again, I cannot say guarantee that it will run or it will not run, but you will see sometime red color. And the reason it is the nature, because you can see the window right now. The window is like this. But if I run, this is a bigger window or desktop, same test case will not run. So sometime it runs, sometime it doesn't run. At the same time, it gives me log also. So if there's a problem, I can see that. And it gives me all the things it does in the background, which we can do our part also. Any questions so far?
When you say that people claim it's unreliable, what are they claiming that's not reliable about it?
So see right now, Mike, you saw that this test case worked, right?
Yep.
But same thing if I run 10 times, it will run 8 times, sometime it will run 6 times, 4 times fail, sometime 2 times fail. Same test case was running, same, I'm not changing anything, but sometime it runs, sometimes it fails, sometime it runs, sometime it fails. And that's the reason it's not reliable.
Because I know I used to use Selenium
Mhm.
to do data entry, and I know if you slowed it down sometimes, it would
Mhm.
work. It worked 100%, but maybe
Yeah,
that's too
Yes,
fast.
that is the trick, as you mentioned, slow down, right? So the customization here is not that great. So you don't get that customization, which you can do in Java. So in Java, you can do all those explicit wait, implicit wait, you can add some sleep and all, which we'll cover next class. So far, so good. So let me delete. I'm going to delete so we can work together, okay? I'm going to delete. Let me delete if I can delete suite itself. So delete suite, and I'm hoping it will delete everything. So now, if you are here, let's get started one by one. Click on the plus sign. Right? Click on plus sign, and we're going to create. Click, and we'll say this time we'll say indeed suite. Indeed suite. Spelling doesn't matter. In case if you have mistake, not a problem. Indeed suite. And now move to the suite, and you will have plus sign. Right? And click on plus, and we can say indeed test case. You need to be a little bit careful when you are capturing the steps, because your computer may take a little while to capture the steps. So far so good. Now hold for a second, don't jump in. I just want to give you like what we are trying to do. So I'm in a different browser. I have 2 browsers, one which Katalon I'm running and one is playing around. So what we are going to do, I'm just giving you like a heads up so you can be clear. So when we start, you need to type indeed, not now. Indeed, please understand, don't go too fast, otherwise you will have error. Indeed, will press enter. Make sure you step by step press enter. Every human action it will capture. Now what? You have to click here. What you're looking for, let's say you're looking for Java. So See, right now I got this pop-up, right? It will capture that also. That's a problem. Make sense or no? So if I click here, it will capture. That's a problem. So you may not have that, but don't select from the drop-down box. You're going to type like this. Make sense? Java. After you type, use your mouse and click here. And then don't select. You write Chicago, comma, Illinois. And then you click on search jobs. Right? So here you get search jobs. Now, anytime you do search jobs, it is going to give you like that Java jobs because I search Java, right? So now you kind of highlight like this, right? Highlight like this. Make sense or no? Then right click on it and then say Katalon. Then you're going to say verify text. Verify text. It means in this page, when I come to search page, right, I should see Java because I'm searching Java. I should not expect SQL, right? I should see Java. So now verify text and that is done and we are done. Then we'll run again. And if I see all those things, means we did an awesome job. Make sense? Everyone is clear? So let's get started. We'll go back to our normal browser here, Katalon, and click on record. Go slowly, you don't have to go too fast. Record, and you write indeed.com, press enter. Then click on a what, and then write Java. Then click on where, and if it is there something you may want to delete that, whatever it is. So for me it's there, but you can write here Chicago, comma, Illinois, and click on search job. Everything what you do, it captures, which is kind of nice thing. And then highlight Java jobs if you can. If it's not highlighting, that's fine. You can right click here and it's not highlighting. It's just right click on that and just say verify text. It's not highlighting, that's fine. Just right click on Java and say verify text, and we're going to stop it. So like that. Okay. Now you can play and see how we did it. It's okay if you made a mistake, nothing wrong. And let's click on play and see if you are able to see some of them, at least some steps are working. That itself is a good progress. Right? See, it's working. Oh, wow. Today is my lucky day. Everything is going well. Wow. Look at that. Java, everything is good. Are you guys able to see? I'm able to see my test cases are green. Now that's fine. As I said before, you will have, don't worry about it now. Okay. If you are able to see running and if you say green, great, give me thumbs up. Even you say red and green Christmas color, give me thumbs up. At least means green and red means you know the process. You understand mechanism. Make sense or no? Let's do one more. This time we'll do Google. No, it's a Christmas will be there. That's the reason I say it's not reliable. Okay. Let's do one more time. Guys, please pay attention. We'll do one more test case. Okay. This time we'll do Google search, which is easy. So let's do it. Click on plus sign. Sorry, my mistake. In your suite itself, in Indeed suite itself, click on plus sign. And this time we'll say Google search. Google search. Make sense? Now you already know that you're going to click on record. It will open the browser. Always see on the screen in case if you have trouble. So Google search, you're going to click on the record. It will open the browser. And when you open the browser, you're going to type Google and press enter. Then you can search basketball or cat or dog, whatever you like to search. And press enter. And then result, I'm just going to search on a result only. So right click on a result, and say verify, Katalon recorder, verify text. You have to find something which is you want to check. So verify text. So I check it. I go to my Katalon and I'm going to stop it. So now I have everything. After I stop it, I should play it and check is it working or not. If you say green color, great, thumbs up. Even if you say Christmas color, that's also fine. But you know the mechanism. And you can see how easy it is to run, record, and play. Today is lucky day, everything is working today. Right? Normally it's give me a red color. Today everything is working. Any questions, concerns, doubts so far on phone? Good. Right? Everyone, I think, hoping working. Rashid, good. Good. Okay. Now, I think you understood the mechanism. I'm recording the session so you can also watch it. I'm hoping that you can practice that also. When you do the project, listen carefully. When you do the project, like example, you're doing project for Costco, or you're doing project for maybe Domino's or cars.com or autotrader.com, you will be doing project, right? So part of the project, you may want to capture some steps using this. Let me repeat. If you're listening to me, this is a very big advice I'm telling you. When you are going to do Selenium project, did I give you projects, Selenium project? Did I create a group or not? I have not created. Oh, thank you. So we'll create a group because I got an email from, I think maybe Agnesia. The group is not working hard. I said, my goodness, what happened? So we have not created a group, right? Yet? Okay, we'll create a group, no problem. But when I give you project, sorry, you select the website for your project. If you have some peculiar problem, this tool will really help you because this tool knows how to capture particular thing. At this moment, everyone knows how to capture. I'm going with that assumption because I did one time, you did two times, yes? And now let's click on the export. Everyone click on export. See if you are able to export in TestNG because you can, we are only focusing right now TestNG, but you can also do JUnit, but I would say go to TestNG because nowadays more people are using TestNG than JUnit. So when you do TestNG, are you able to see Java code? Yes or no? Now, if you notice that this code is readable, but you may not know in and out, but it is actually Java code. Entire thing is Java. Do you guys agree or not? And that is the reason when sometimes when students say, I don't want to learn Java, I want to learn Selenium. When students ask that question, I'm having a tough time to explain them. Because they say, no, I don't want to learn Java. I want to learn Selenium. How can I teach you Selenium when everything is Java? If I show you this, you will not be surprised because you know import statement. Do you agree or not? If I go to here, you will not surprise because this is the class name. Curly bracket will not create a problem. Then you know that private means. Now, please pay attention on the board. The more you pay attention, easier it will become. Otherwise, it will look like just a storytelling. Remember, this is going to make your career. More you pay attention, easier it will become. If it works or not, it doesn't matter. But if you don't understand, it's a big problem. Make sense or not? Always see here. They will ask question in interview this. What is this thing? WebDriver. This is interface. The reason it is interface, this allows you to plug IE, Firefox, Safari. You can plug any of the things. So Selenium is all about interface. And interface, we talk about polymorphism, right? That's what it is. So sometimes people will ask, what is the interface you are using? WebDriver. Now, if I go further, you can see this annotation we are using and setup method we use. Setup method works anytime you run a test case. Setup method works always before you run your test case. Setup method always runs. So if your test case 1, it runs. If your test case 2, setup method will still run like this. So setup method, if you write anything in a setup method, it will run before every test case. Because you're writing a setup method. But here you can see before class. What does it mean? It means I don't want to run in every test cases. I want to run here. And this, because you write before class, it will run only one time. But if I write before method, it will run at every method. Make sure you understand that part. Right now, what is written here?
Before class.
Before class means I have, let's say, 6 test method. How many method I have? 6 test method. How many times this setup will run? Only one time. Because it said before class. It says before class. If it is written before method, somewhere you will see somewhere. Somewhere you will see. Right now it is just saying before class. So if when we do Java, listen carefully. When we do Java, we have 2 options: before class and before method. Now, interview question. This is a very tough question. Majority people fail in this question. I want you to pay attention. If you have, let's say, test case method, let's assume this is the test case 1, test method 1, test method 2, test method 3. Please pay attention. This is a very important question. So you have these 3 test methods. How many methods? 3. Now they all are independent. They all are independent. So example, 1 does something, 2nd does something. They have no dependency or no sequential. In that case, I would rather go for before method. Before method. Why? Because before method will reset and then it will run this test. Before method will reset and run this test. Before method will reset and it will run this test. Why would you run in before method? So you don't want to have any dependency on prior test case. Because when you run test case, there might be something is there which may create impact on second test case. Example, if you say, guys, go and open the door. Guys, go and open the door and then come to the office. Do you guys agree? So in that case, you assume door is locked. But I gave that instruction to all students. So the first student will come, door was locked, yes or no? So he will open that. But the second student, how can I open the door? Door is open. Situation is bad. Do you agree or not?
Mhm.
Why? Because he doesn't have the precondition set up correctly. So setup is kind of give you reset everything. So everything is predictable. Everything is predictable. It's a good thing to do if your test cases are independent. If your test cases are independent, then you do setup method before setup. In that case, setup method will run before each test case. Now the question is, when should I use then before class? There is a reason you should use before class. Example, if you are doing logging, listen carefully. If you are doing logging, then you are searching product, then you are adding product to shopping cart, then you are doing payment, then you are doing shipping. So this is called sequential step. If you don't do this properly, like example, if you search it, and whatever search you do, you want to make sure that you add in a shopping cart, yes or no? If you reset, then you cannot add anything in a shopping cart. Do you agree or not? So first method was like search. Then you select the product. Second method is add that product in a shopping cart. Third method is do checkout. And fourth method is maybe shipping info. So all those informations are sequential. In that case, you should always use before class. So this is called workflow. Workflow. So if you are sequential, then you use before class. If each method is independent, you use before method. Make sense? So
Yes.
easy language. If I have credit card application, step 1, step 2, and step 3, what should I use? Before class.
Before class.
Example, let's say I want to go to Indeed and I want to apply for a job. Which one I will do? Before class or before method? Before class. Because if you want to apply for a job, you have to log in first. So when you log in, you get your profile. So from that profile, automatically you can apply. If you don't log in, then you have to create a profile, right? So as soon as you log in, which we call session, speak with me. So that's
Session.
called that workflow created because you logged in, so state maintained, and that's why you do before method. If you don't understand this part, then sometimes you will spend days and nights. Make sense or no? Clear? Before method has a meaning, and before class also have meaning. We are not going to use it just randomly. Make sense or no? If methods are independent, so like example, one is in Google search and one is doing Indeed search. Are they dependent or independent?
Independent.
In that case, I will do before method. Clear? Clear? Crystal clear? Okay. Now, there is one thing here which is also going to be a question in your interview. I normally ask this question. This question there, what is this thing? System, set property, web driver, Chrome driver, and then empty. Majority people, when they go in interview, sometimes in your interview, they ask you to write a hello world. Let's open Google and do basketball search. That's your interview question. Sometimes in interview, they will ask, hey, you know Selenium, do whatever you want, but open Google and write basketball and search it, just like we did it. But in interview, people miss this line. So what is this line? So this line, listen carefully. You have computer, and computer you install Google Chrome. So Google Chrome itself is a software. So if you are using Windows, then anytime Google Chrome you open, it's called process. Google Chrome open a process. Now, Selenium, old Selenium was, listen carefully, old Selenium was working in the browser. When you open a Chrome, it was working inside the browser, old Selenium, 2.x. That was JavaScript based. So when you're JavaScript based, it's a problem because JavaScript varies browser to browser. JavaScript varies browser to browser. So it may work in Chrome, it may work a little differently in IE or Safari or Opera or other thing, right? So people didn't like it. So then they changed the model. They say now, we don't want to work inside the browser, but we want to talk to process. Because if you talk to process knows, because process is the one who controls the Google Chrome. And this process knows how to control Google Chrome. So why would we talk to Chrome? We should talk to process. So now they use a one driver, which we call Gecko driver. Speak with me. Gecko driver. Gecko driver is a driver which is a browser specific. So if you're using Chrome, then we need to download Gecko driver for Chrome. If you're using Safari, then you need to download the Gecko driver for Safari. If you're using Firefox or Edge, then you have to download specific driver. And once you download that driver, you have to tell Selenium that how to talk to this process. This line, if you don't write, Selenium cannot talk to Google Chrome because Selenium doesn't know how to talk. So the Selenium will go to Gecko driver and say, hey Gecko driver, you are a specific for Chrome and you know how to talk to Chrome. So all the command you are giving it to Gecko driver, and Gecko driver give command to process will do that. And so 100% will work. So tomorrow, if you are using, let's say Microsoft, same program, if you are using Edge, you don't have to change anything. You just need to change this line. And in the Gecko driver, you will add Edge driver, and entire program will work. Tomorrow say, hey, we want to check this thing for Opera. You need to download Opera Gecko driver, and entire program will work. So Selenium itself is a cross browser, but you needed this driver. Make sense or not? If you don't have a driver, nothing will work. Now the question is then why it is empty here? You may think, right? Why it is empty? Because when we are using what you call Chrome itself knows what to do. Because we are using plugin, right? So plugin itself knows what to do. But when we use Java NetBeans, we need to educate that, right? So that I will teach you in a few minutes. Any questions so far? Everyone understand what is the importance of Gecko driver? Can I run without Gecko driver? Answer is no. I will be very honest with you. This line is $1 million line. You always need it. Okay. Good news. I'll show you how to do everything. You just need to download one time, and we will put this file in a C drive data. You might not always use data folder. because we have created data folder, and inside that we'll put the driver, and then rest of the things we'll do copy. Are you guys ready? So right now it's 7:36. Open your NetBeans. Open your NetBeans. Relax and enjoy the ride, okay? I want to make sure you understand the mechanism, because we will do a couple of weeks this. You will do homework like this. Homework supposed to be easy once you understand the concept. The last thing you don't understand the mechanism. If you don't understand the mechanism, then it will be tough, because a one single step will take time. I want to make sure you understand mechanism. Let me know once your NetBeans is up and running. Good. So Mahasweta says up and running. So I'm going to go forward, right? Because he gave me thumbs up. So let's go file menu, new project, file menu, new project. So let's click on file menu, new project, and select your Maven, and we'll select Java application. Maven, Java application. We'll do next, and we'll say Selenium demo. That's my project name. Selenium demo. Please don't give space, just give a Selenium demo. Don't worry about this part. Remember, we talked about this is required for Maven. I would strongly suggest from here onwards, understand how Maven will be used. We will be using Maven today a little bit, because Selenium is a bunch of technology together, and that's why it's kind of scary for a few days, but it's not really scary. I always tell people, when you know the tools, you will enjoy the toolkit, right? If you say first time, oh, so many tools, and you have no idea how tool works, sometimes it's scary. But you make sure you have a smile and a little bit focus, you will be fine. Now finish it. So now I have somewhere Selenium demo. I'm going to expand. So you can see I have Selenium demo project. Now, there are a few things we're going to cover. Before we jump into something, I want to make sure today this file will be used. So double click on the palm.xml. So when you double click on palm.xml, I'm sure you might see that I'm using JDK 1.7, you're using 17, right? Don't worry about it. Right now, everything here, but I do not have a dependencies. Okay. So what we're going to do, step one, because our Katalon is giving me Java TestNG. So I'm going to write TestNG test case. Let's say your company is using JUnit only. So you can select JUnit, and this whole logic will be written in JUnit. If your company is using Python, you can use Python. If your company is using Shisha, ask yourself question, how many of you will know all languages, right? So if you know Java, you can use it, but if you don't know, you can easily get the 100% help here, right? And then little bit writing 2 lines is easy compared to writing 100 lines. Makes sense or not? So right now we are using TestNG. So I'm going here on our project, right click on our project, and say new. And do you see TestNG? Because we did last week. If you have not done last week project, don't cry. If you have done it, you can click it. But let's say if you have not done it, you can go to other. In case if you have never done TestNG, in that case you can do. If you don't see this, don't cry. In that case, you go other. So if I do this way, I click new, other, and in that case, let's say if I select unit test, I'll see TestNG test case. Make sure you understand TestNG test case, and if I click on that, I and both you will be on the same page. Now, because I'm doing, let's say, Google search, so I'll search Google, G capital Google, and T test. Make sure T capital, Google test, no space, please. And then package will write, because we are doing testing, so we'll start with the test. We'll say ts test.com.it exps, like that. Make sure your dot test.com.itxps. I'm hoping everyone is following me. Right? I'm hoping I'm going reasonable speed. Okay, now let's do finish. At this moment, your NetBeans will add dependency in palm.xml. It's going to download certain things and you will see no error here. If you don't see error here, means your NetBeans did an amazing job. It downloaded dependencies and you have all the input class. If you are able to give me thumbs up. The reason I'm using TestNG, I'll be honest with you, because you have a JDK 17 and they have some issue with the JUnit because you are using Jupyter JUnit and I use older JUnit. So mine will work, your won't work. But I noticed in TestNG it works. So that's why we are using TestNG. But if I do the JUnit, it is the exact same step. There is no difference. Okay. Now, do you agree if you scroll down, there are so many annotations are there and there are two methods there, which I was talking about, before class and before method. Give me thumbs up if you are very clear with that, right? You will be seeing there are sometimes I will be writing here and sometimes I'll be writing here. If I write here, it's a workflow. And if I write here, this is independent method, right? Clear? Okay. Now, same apply for this after method. So when I write before method, please understand, before method, this is your test method. So the way it works is before method call, before my test case runs, and after method calls, after my test can run. So it always goes like a sandwich model. This will run, then my test case, and then this will run. So anything you want to do after the test, you always do here. But this will run at every method. If you want to do at test level, so class level, so there is a before class is there, and there is a after class is also there. So if you want to do that, then you use this one, same concept. So for workflow, we do before class, after class, but otherwise I'll do before method, after method. This question is not hard at all, but this question normally asked and people normally answer incorrectly. Okay, so we are good now. Can I count? Now we are going to copy step by step. I'm not going to write it. I'm going to do copy step by step. But before that, I just want to give you pick. Double click on palm.xml and see you have a dependency TestNG. Say yes. Right. Right. Now, I just want to be clear with that. This is just TestNG, but it has no knowledge about Selenium. At this moment, there is no Selenium. So we are going to add Selenium. Please understand. We are going to add Selenium and it will not work. Why? Because there is no dependency of Selenium. Makes sense or no? So if I go back to our Katalon code, everything, if you see package-wise, they are all Selenium. And this comes from Selenium dependency called Selenium dependency, which is Maven. So we need a Selenium Maven dependency. So how would I get it? So for that, in my forum, I'll go back to our forum. And if I scroll down, I gave you two things here. First, Gecko driver will do Gecko driver in a few minutes. But if I scroll down, I have dependencies. Say yes, copy this. What are you going to do? Copy this. So you're going to copy like that. This is dependency. Copy this. I'll put in a chat in case people are not enough that. So copy in a what do you call this dependency? This dependency is Selenium dependency. You copy it. And then you paste just after the dependency. Don't put like this. Make sure you you can see I highlighted. You put some space and then do control V, right? Control V. I just do formatting so it looks good. You can also right click and format. So it will do automatically format. If you right click and format, it will do automatically for you. But please understand, there is one dependency here and there is another dependency here. This dependency I just added. And it should not create a red color. If it add a red color, then you don't know how to copy paste. Okay. Very simple. Make sure you at least know how to copy paste, because if you make a mistake here, then we will have trouble. Palm.xml is the master file. We need to make sure it's always have no red color basically. And whenever you make this change, you save it. You always save the file so that way your dependency will be auto downloaded by default by NetBeans. If it doesn't download, we can force it. You can see it's downloading right now for me. It normally downloads automatically, so you won't have problem. Any question with copying Selenium dependency? You will always do in your life whenever you work with Selenium, always. Can I forget this when I do always? Does people need to remind you that you need to copy this dependency? It's not working. Can you ask this kind of question during real life when you go to first day, second day? I don't know why it's not working. Which dependency I need? They hire you for Selenium. You cannot ask that type of basic question. Do you agree or not? This is required. And good news, doesn't matter if you use old version or new version. Most of the versions are kind of same. Good. So first step is done. Okay. Make sure you pay attention because you are learning by performing. Okay. If you are not performing and if you're not paying attention, it's equivalent to you're not learning. Okay. So make sure you do that, because if you do this exercise today, then next day you will have zero problem. That's why mechanism is important. So first step is done. Now we are going to go back to our class which we created here. Double click on that. So our class is here. Our class is empty. The Google test. You can see I have created in test packages. Do you agree or not? And Google test is there, but T is capital. So I have double click on that. Now I am going to copy code from our Katalon, but our Katalon is indeed not a Google search. Do you agree? Now I found very interesting thing that even though I have not selected any of them, it picked the Indeed, but if I click on Google search, ideally it should search Google search, right? But some of you may not see the Google search. If you see that, great. If you don't see that, you can see I click on that and I can see all Google search. Are you guys seeing the Google search? If you are seeing, you're lucky. If you're not seeing, there is a bug in the system. If you're not able to see Google search, means you have some issue. Even though you have red color, Christmas color, not a problem. Red color, green color, blue color, no problem. As long as you can see Google search code here, awesome. But if you are not able to see, I'll put the code in the chat room. So in case if you are having a problem, I'll add in a that. But I want to make sure, please pay attention right now. No questions. Hello, no questions right now. I want you to, we're almost done. Finish line. I need 4 or 5 steps. I'll forget it. Make sure you pay attention. We are going to copy step by step. So these 2 lines we need to copy first. These 2 lines. You can see how these 2 lines are just like this. They are after the class curly bracket. Right? We're going to copy these 2 lines. So highlight this, relax and follow the flow. Copy that. I'm going to paste in a chat in case if you don't have this proper. So you can see that. And then go back to your class. After the curly bracket, paste these 2 lines. As soon as you paste 2 lines, it's going to crack. Yes or no? The reason it crashes because you don't have import statement from Selenium. Right? So you're going to click on that and it should say import. If it does that, it means palm.xml downloaded the library for you. If you see that, it should be awesome. If you're not able to see that, either you have made a mistake or your computer did not download the Selenium library. Make sense? Right now, if you are able to see that, you just click it and the error will disappear. Those who are not able to see this add line, there may be a couple of issues and we have to solve that. Are you guys able to see that add? If yes, give me thumbs up. If you're not able to see, means you have issue. Okay, those who are not able to see, you have issue. I will try to solve this issue. And remember, because you are using computer, has some kind of way, it's not downloading. There can be many reasons. One, you're using someone corporate machine. If you're using someone corporate machine, most likely you will not be able to download because they don't allow. Second, you're not using proper Windows Professional, or you're not configured the proxy properly, or something, maybe antivirus is stopping. Now this troubleshooting mechanism may take a few minutes. I want you to pay attention, because if you don't solve this problem, then technically speaking, you cannot take entire Selenium class. Make sense? So to solve this problem, first thing first, you have to have this library, which we have here. And then you have saved this file. So far, so good. if you make one single mistake, you may have a problem. So if I can resolve right now, those who are having a problem, out of let's say 6 students have a problem, Mike has a problem. If 6 students have a problem, if one person is resolved, it means we are doing awesome. Rest of the people have to find the solution. I can tell you the most probable problem. Problem number 1, you did not copy paste and you have red color somewhere. If you have red color, fix it. Because I ask you to call dependency to dependency, and that should be part of dependencies. And then you save it. When you save it, then right click on your project, right click on a project and try to do clean and build. Try to do clean and build and see if it downloads some dependency. Clean and build and see the console. Does it download something for you? If it downloads, most likely it will solve the problem. If it starts downloading, that's a good thing. If it downloads something, it's a good thing. Most likely it will solve the problem. Don't worry about compilation error because we have not imported the package. But if it downloaded, it's a good thing. Now go back to the class and see if you click on that, does it give you add? If it gives you add, give me thumbs up. If it gives you, means your problem solved. It means your machine forcefully downloaded. When you do clean build, your machine forcefully downloaded. I will be very clear with you. The reason you are having this problem is because something is stopping your machine to download it. But good news, we are able to see that. It means problem solved. Is anyone still having a problem? Everyone
I'm
else?
not having the problem.
No, but you have to tell me what problem you have now.
It's not showing me the option of add input for.
Yeah, so did you add this thing, tom.xml?
Yes, I did.
Are you sure it's 100% correct? There is no red error, right?
Okay, hold on. There is an error.
That's it. There is a solution, right? You should not have any error. I asked you, right? Copy paste.
I
There
did
is no
copy paste dependency.
Yeah, you can see how nicely you can see on the screen, right? If you make a minor mistake, you will have a problem. So if you have a problem here, you should not move forward. First fix it.
Okay. Now it went away.
Right? Once you fix it, then right click and clean and build. And make sure all pay attention because it's one minor error will take you a whole day, I can tell you. Some people take weeks for this kind of thing. You can do it a couple of hours, right? So right click, clean build. More you pay attention, easier it will become. So clean build, and then go to your class and see if you are able to import. I'm right now able to import. I can see Mike is able to do. So I'm thinking now majority people have problems solved. Okay. Let's move on. We have long run to go, guys. Okay. Ready? Okay. Now, please pay attention. Remember, you should not be anywhere in a parking lot because this is a hello world exercise you are doing. The only thing we are trying to do mechanism, and mechanism must be clearly understood and follow the steps correctly. We are not typing, we are copy pasting. So now I'm going to go back to forum, and in forum you can see here they have set up, and they're asking this couple of things. So I'm going to copy these 2 lines, 3 lines like that. So let's copy 2 lines. This 2 line is needed. So copy this 2 line. See here, always remember, I'm going to paste this thing in a chat room also, in case if you're having problem. So I paste it. Now you can see it's a setup. I'm going to go to setup, the before method, and I'm going to paste it here. Now it's crying here. You can see that it's crying, but I'm in a before method. Make sure you see what I'm doing, because that way you don't randomly copy and randomly paste somewhere. And don't go fast because you are too new right now. This error will resolve when you import from driver. So let's click on that and you import, and the error will disappear. Very good. Now, this is also things we need to do. I want you to pay attention because it's human nature. We don't pay attention when things are very important, right? I always tell people, like, when somebody is explaining important thing, stop everything and focus, because in human nature we don't normally pay attention, right? We have to pay attention because this is our life here. Selenium, these are important part, right? This is where we have to add our Gecko driver. But the problem in Gecko driver, how do I download and import it? Someone needs to mute, I believe. Kavita, I will mute you because I don't want to hear background noise. Okay. So Gecko driver is we need to download. So we need to go back to our forum. And in the forum, if you notice that I added a link here, download Chrome Gecko driver. Make sense? So let's click on it. Click on it. As soon as you click, you will get the link. I have done homework, so you don't have to search around. Otherwise, you have to spend time and unnecessary. Say yes. Right. Now, human nature, there are different browser we are using, depends on our version. Now, we don't know which browser we are using. It is possible you might be using something, I'm using different. So Google said these are the 3 we are supporting. So we need to know now what is our current browser version. This is the version. So let's see here. I'll go to my Chrome. Already in Chrome, sorry. So click on the 3 dots, follow the flow. And when you click on that, go to help and go to about Chrome. Make sure you see this. It's not hard at all, right? And find out what version you are using. The dot, help, about Chrome, and normally it will automatically update it. So right now it's 108 and it will try to update it. Let it update. Because sometimes, if it's 108 and if it update 109, your test case will break. So let it update so we can have latest. It will normally gonna update. Normally it's gonna update. Right now it's saying updated Chrome. So most likely it will make it latest and greatest. Now Chrome Gecko driver is tightly coupled on the browser. So some of you, while running your test cases, it might be running now, but after a couple of days you might have an issue. Why? Because Chrome might have updated version. To solve this problem, people stop auto update. But why to worry about? Learn it and update it. But in a real life, we stop the auto update. So wherever you're running test, which is called test lab, that is auto update is turned off. It means it will continuously work, because when you are 108, it will run because your browser is not updating. Right now it's updating. You can see it's a 62%. We need to give a little bit time, so it should be able to complete. Some of your machine may be faster than mine, and it might have updated latest and greatest, right? So while it is doing, I'm hoping that it will go to 109. So if I go here,
109.
yeah, I see here I have 109. So I'm going to click on 109 as a proactivity. In case if it doesn't work, then I'll switch back to 108. But because I know it's going to go to 109, so I'm going to click on it. So when you click on it, you will get a zip file for Windows. I'm hoping everyone is following, okay? And then you can see here, I have Windows Chrome driver. Mac people have different, but I have Windows driver. So I'm going to click on the zip file. So let's click on that. So when you click on that, it will download zip file in a minute, maybe a half minute. It will download and you will be done. Good. Now, if you are able to download, there is a tiny arrow. Click on that and go to open folder. So you can go to the open folder. So I'll say show in folder, show in folder. So I'll go there and I'll unzip this file, because this is the zip file. I cannot use zip file. So I need to unzip it. So right click here and I'll say extract all. By default, Windows Professional gives you this extract all, or otherwise you need to download 7-zip and you have to do extract. 7-zip is free, extract all is there. So you can, I use Windows extract all and it will extract and just say extract. So when you do extract, it's going to extract in this folder. So now I extracted it. And now it's going to have a nice, beautiful folder. I already have the folder, so I'll say that's replace it. So it's going to replace it. So you can see now I have Chrome driver exe and check the size. It's important that you see the size. Your size and my size most likely be same. Right? Now, Click here and copy, Control C. Everyone knows how to copy, right? Control C. Make sure you click it and Control C. Easy. Now go to data folder and just paste it. Paste it here. Control V. V as a Victor. If it is there, just override. So you will say, and make sure your size is matched. So I put it in a data folder because it's easy for us to refer. Give me thumbs up if you are so far able to follow. Make sense? This is only required one time in your most of the time in your life. If you are changing the version, then you will change this thing. Otherwise, it will work forever. Right? Assuming that we are using 108 or 109. So we'll see in a few seconds, we'll know about it. Good. So we are done with that part.
I'm not able to move forward because I'm stuck with the error in the form file.
That's fine. Right now, you may want to watch the recording, right? Because there is a small error you have, so you can watch recording. Once you watch the recording, you may be able to find it. So that's fine. You can watch right now. Now, because I kind of explained, right? I didn't write anything. So when you watch recording, you will find your own mistake. When you start over, you will easily find your mistakes because we did cut and paste. We did not write it. Now, I want to go back to my forum. And my forum, I have one line. I want you to see this line. This line. Remember, we are just doing cut and paste. We are not asking you to write a program. And I'm expecting that all of you follow correctly. If you write a program from scratch, it's going to take time. I completely understand. Let's understand. This is saying we are doing Chrome. But if I'm using Edge, then this will change to Edge. If I'm using, let's say, Opera, this will change to Opera. This will change to the. So this word will change. This path, you see, select C drive, Chrome driver exe, we copy. Yes or no? So technically speaking, we don't need to change anything. We just highlight this thing and do Control C. Control C. Make sense? Make sure you know how to do copy paste and go back to your program and highlight the line which you have and then replace that. Control V. Highlight and replace Control V. So that way you don't have two lines. Now this line has the driver. Make sense? The original line was there, was empty. You highlight that line. Like example, you had this line, right? You highlight this line and then do Control V. V means paste. If you highlight, it will replace this. So check it out. That line will be gone, and now you have this thing. If you have done that, make sure you save it. So you are doing awesome so far. We are almost there. Almost like I would say we are 50% done. Almost there, right? It will take 10 more minutes. And then we'll take a break. And after that, we'll do again whole exercise. So those remain in a parking lot, will come and pick them up. Okay? But after second lab, if you cannot do, I'm really unhappy. It means you're really not paying attention or your machine is not helping. I'll be very unhappy because it takes 3 hours to prepare. I'm going step by step. Why we are having missteps, right? We are not typing at all. You notice that? So make sure second time when I come, and I will pick you from parking lot. But third time, you need to walk all the way to Chicago. Make sense? Now we are going back to the our Katalon. Now please pay attention. The last step here. Check it out. We are going to take entire method, but this method has something which is not going to work. Like example, they are having some kind of method which we don't have. So we have to do a little bit. Remember 80-20? 80% line we will not have a problem, but 20% will have a problem. So I want you to see first. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to change this thing. I'm going to import some packages and error will be resolved. But these verification I will not have. Asserts I will import it because it's coming from TestNG. But these I don't have it. So instead of these, what I'm going to do, system out, S out. But otherwise everything will work perfectly fine. So now let's copy these things. Make sure you copy it. This thing like this. Make sure you see here, do Control C. You're not copying more than you need. Make sense? Control C. So now when I copy there, please pay attention. I'm copying this thing here. Control C, so I got it. Now I'll go back to the NetBeans, put it in after the effort method, do Control V. Now when I do Control V, I know, see, first of all, let me repeat again, in case if you feel I'm going too fast. This is the last curly bracket. So I created some space by pressing enter. So there is some space. Remember, this is the class curly bracket. So before that, I do Control V. So when I do Control V, I might get some error. So that error, first error, I can just click it and read about that. It is coming from TestNG. I import it, right? Then I click on this. It is coming from Selenium. I import it. Then I click on this. It is coming from Selenium. I import it. But this one I will not be able to import because there is nothing called import. So what I'm going to do, actually, I do not want to do that. That's a mistake. Sorry, a mistake. I don't need it. That will be a mess. So I need to change this into system out. So what I'm going to do, you know what we do, right? S out and tab. And then I take this portion, right? And remove this portion up to this. And then I don't need empty line around that. If this, I need to click and import. Why don't you try that? Step by step, do it. And save it. This is the only line I type. Rest of the time, I just import it one by one. So you import this one, you import this one, slowly import, right? These are all coming from Selenium jar, right? Step by step import. Please remember, verify we don't have, so we wrote this thing. Everything should be inside. There is no error in this method. Let me know once you complete this part. Give me thumbs up. Any problem? I can paste it in chat room. I can paste it in chat room. If you don't have, get it from chat room. Good. Yeah. I'm hoping that everything is working very well. Give me a couple of thumbs up here, so at least I know people are able to do. Yeah. If you have a problem, something special, make sure you don't type anything. You just import. The only thing I type is this line. Remember, system as capital. Yeah. Good so far. Okay, so right now I'm continuing. Please pay attention. I just we are almost on the finish line. I think someone keeping me on speaker, or I'm hearing myself echo. Someone to put microphone off. I can paste it, chat. I can do again. Maybe you join later. I can paste it again. I put it in chat also. Okay, so right now, see here. Don't worry about that part. Hello. See here, because next lab you will be able to do that. Don't worry. I just want to make sure you understand how it works, because we'll do the same exercise again separately. So you will be fine. Please pay attention to the process. If you cannot do it, that's fine. But if you don't understand the process, my 2 hours is not going to give you value. Now, I have everything. See, I have setup method. So it knows how to Chrome driver. It will open the Chrome. This one will create a Chrome driver for me. This is called embedded Chrome. Embedded Chrome means like just like you're opening browser like this, right? This is going to be opened by Selenium. So this Chrome driver will Selenium will open, and then it will run whenever it says test. It will start here. It will open the Chrome and it will look for Q. Q means it will look for text box. It will type basketball. It will do enter. And it will try to find it. If it finds, everything pass, and I will have green color. Most likely it will fail, right? Because I know that it might fail, so we'll fix it. But right now I'm ready to run. So check it out. I save this. Now right click and test. If it open browser itself is a big thing. If we type basketball itself is a big thing. And if I get error, that's fine. Error can happen, but I know my mechanism is completely right. Check it out. Test file. If my Gecko driver is right, if everything is right, it will open the browser and it will write a basketball. And if it does, we did an amazing job. Most likely it will. Look at that, it opened browser, and now what happened? It errored out, right? I was expecting that, but it opened the browser for sure. Now it says, you can say could not start a new session, session not created, the version of Chrome driver only support. It means I have a version issue because my Chrome driver version is not supported. It means I think there is a problem with my version. So when I updated, remember I was updating, trying to update, I think I have a problem with the version. So it did not go well. So let me see which version they have. So help, about us, it's still 108 and I end up downloading 109, right? Yes or no?
Yeah.
So that's the problem I'm having. No problem.
For me, it
It
was
should relaunch, I think.
So for you might have worked. It's okay. Nothing wrong. I will not cry. I'll download it. Oops, sorry. I will go back there and I'll download 108. So click on that. It won't take more than few minutes. So download 108. I go to show folder, right? Remember, every time I download, I will check the size because through that I will know I'm having a different size or no. So I'll download, I'll do extract file because I have 108 now. So size will be a little different. So they can see 12069. Please see here. So 12069, I will not be able to copy now on a data folder. Why? Because the file is used. You will see if I do Control V, it will not allow me to replace that. It will cry. Oh, it allowed. Wonderful. So it allowed. So now I can run it. That's pretty good. It allows. So if I right click and now run test file, it should open the Google Chrome. It should go to the next step. So now check it out. It's going further. And if it opens, I would say, ta-da, look at that, ta-da. And it's Google and basketball, it's wild basketball. Oh, and now it's going forward. And now last step, it might error out because it looks like it went through and its result is there. And today is my lucky day. Everything successful. Everything successful. Do you agree? This test is completely automated. After I do that, I don't need a Katalon. I can do this test and I plug it into Jenkins and I can use this word which you will be asked in interview called CI, CD, and CD. So you will be doing these things in your real life. CI stands for continuous integration. Hello, last year. CI stands for continuous integration. CD stands for continuous deployment. And CD stands for continuous testing. This is very important for you to have Selenium in this step. For CI, which is continuous integrations, make sure everyone see here, so you will know what you're doing. Otherwise, you are just here and listening, right? CI stands for Git. So your code, your test case, your code will be in a Git. Jenkins will take that. Then it will use Maven to build it. Then it will deploy it. Then it will trigger Selenium, which is our test case. our test case are always functional test case because you're talking to browser. Make sense? Entire thing is called pipeline. So next week, most likely not next week or week after, we will be able to install Jenkins and we'll do this pipeline. But in order to do pipeline, we need to have testing components, which we know. Last week, if you remember, we covered Git part and many of you did homework. I know some of you did not, but many of you did homework. So you are good with here, you're good with here. The only thing, Maven you already know. So the only thing is you're not good with your Jenkins. So if I cover Jenkins, you can work anywhere in the world. That's called CI, CD, and CT. Now CT require Selenium, maybe 1 or 2 class of Selenium with strong understanding. You are good with this because Selenium is nothing but Java. You saw like it, I didn't write a single line of code. What I did import, but because you know what is import means, right? And then if I need to write logic, if and all and for, I will be able to write. So that part will cover that in coming next week. But I don't have to spend too much time on Maven. I don't have to spend too much time in Git. The only thing I need to spend time on Jenkins. Make sense? So this pipeline is extremely important in the interview. If you say that, I know the pipeline, you are very impressive. And that's why in your project, you have to do pipeline. The pipeline is the real meat. In a real life, everyone wants you to know pipeline because you will do day in and day out. Sounds good? Now, one thing is not done before we take a break. You see my browser open, but my browser did not close. So let me run again. So I'll show you. I run it, test again. It opened the browser. Check it out. It opened the browser. It does basketball, but then it did not close the browser. So check. It opened the browser. It opens. So every time I run the test, it opens, but it does not close it. So who opens? Get is opening. It's searching, but then who closed the browser? So there will be a question in your interview. Anytime you open the browser, it's a get. Anytime you open the browser is a get. But then how you close it? So if you have, let's say, Google search, and you have, let's say, Indeed search. So how many methods you have? 2. So each method it will open the browser. Do you agree? So then interview, they may ask you, how do you stop the browser? So remember, we are doing before setup method. Same thing if I do driver dot close, then it will close it. And if I do here driver dot close, then it will close it. So what we should do here, we should go back here. This is not acceptable. So I'll kind of close here all, and I go to, it's the after method, go inside and just write one line, driver dot close, like that. Now, if you save it and run, it will automatically close. Driver dot close. And now see here, it will open it, it will do the magic, and it will close it. And if you are able to do that, I would say kudos to all of you. Those who are able to do, kudos to you, because you are already successfully set up the framework. Next time when we do the after break, we'll do one more time exercise. So those who are in trouble, they should be able to do, but you will have second time kudos. Now you can see it will open 1, 2, 3, close it. Right now my machine is completely working. Now I can do my Selenium project for real life because this is called machine setup. I have Gecko driver setup. I have plugin setup for our Katalon. I have NetBeans. Everything is working fine. Any questions, concerns before we take a small break?
One quick question.
Mhm.
For the step where you do the test and the Chrome is opening, but it doesn't go forward because it pops up the security alert for the firewall. If you do allow access, it will, because it just said that
Where is the problem?
firewall has blocked some features for the Java application.
Yeah, you have your own machine here, right? In your machine, you may want to release the firewall because you may want to do that. You may not disable. You might have antivirus software. You may want to disable it because that should solve the problem.
Because it
Because
asks me to allow access, and if I will allow access, I won't have any more this problem, right?
that is also fine. Yeah, allow access means allow permission. Yep. Ideally, it should not have any problem.
Okay, thank you.
So let's take a 10 minutes break and we'll repeat entire ecosystem. This time, next time we'll go a little fast because we know the entire process. We have downloaded so many things, so it will be a lot easier. I'm hoping that people who have downloaded a Gecko driver and all, it will be easy. So after break, we'll do Indeed search. So what we're going to do this exercise number 2. So exercise number 2, we are going to do first Katalon recorder. And in Katalon recorder, we're going to do Indeed search. And we're going to export. Then we'll bring that into NetBeans TestNG code and try to run it. If I get the test running, awesome. And then we'll try to add some customization. Along with that, I want to teach you something which is important, which is called Google Console. So when we are here, I want to teach you Google Console. Now, Google Console is very, very important. It's a best friend for you to debug. And the debugging part, I'll help you a little bit. And then we'll talk about a little bit XPath, because so far I have not covered. So I'm going to add a little bit so at least we get a maximum value, because each class are loaded class. I want to make sure you learn more. So what is XPath and all, I'll cover that as well. And we'll do quick exercise in XPath. Is a little bit detour. We might go a little extra time, but I want to make sure so we can do entire homework correctly. XPath normally work with XML, which is nothing but extended markup language. So I'm going to walk you through that, and then we'll do exercise, because exercise will be very fast because we already know how to add Maven, how to add Gecko driver. We already know, so it will be more, we will be comfortable. So right now, everyone go to Google Chrome and search Indeed. Not search, type indeed.com. Now, when you type that, you see all those objects. You will see objects, like example, this image, like example, this text, this text box, right? All those are objects. We call web element. What we call web element. Now, it is entire things is written in HTML, but this HTML follow a particular way standard. So example, you start with HTML like this, right? You start with HTML and then you close HTML. So that's kind of following XML standard HTML. So you start and you close HTML. And each item has its own element. This is called input text. So there is element input text. This is also input text. This is like a anchor text. So there are a lot of elements inside. Now, just like if you want to find something, this is the XML document. It is even the HTML, but it follows XML format. So if you want to find particular element, then in order to find the element, XPath is very important. The XPath helps you to traverse XML and get particular element. Without XPath, you may get that element by ID or by name. These are very popular methodology. If you want to find ID by name, element by ID or name. But if ID and name doesn't work, most people use XPath. So you need to be comfortable with XPath. So I'm going to show you so you will understand that. But right now, if I ask you what is the ID or what is the name of this element, you may not be able to tell me. But there's a trick here. Press F12, function F12 on your browser, F12. Some of you need to do function F12, some of you need to do F12, whichever works for you. So for me, it works F12. Some of you need to press 2 buttons, function and F12, right? And you will see this kind of Google Console. If you are able to see this thing, give me thumbs up, so at least I know you know how to do so, right? Don't make it hard. These are simple things, okay? Function F12 or just F12, whichever works, function F12 or F12. Now, if you see this tiny pointer, click on that pointer, and then it will color the things, which is called introspect. So you click on that and you move your mouse and it will tell you introspect. So let's go to your text box all the way like this. Make sure you see on the screen, otherwise you will be, what did you do? Like that. Always remember, see that and do yourself. Don't even ask your neighbor. How many times you will ask? They will run away from you, right? Make sure you see that. You click here and then you move and you will see the blue thingy. When you get a blue thingy, release that. Check it out. So you click on that, right? And then you move your mouse and go all the way up to this. When you have, click it. When you click it, you will see the code behind here. So you can see anytime you're going there, you get a code here. Do you see that? This entire code is XML type of format. So let me close my browser again. Just want to start new browser.
You are breaking. You're freezing a lot.
Voice.
My voice. So I'll try again. So let me stop my video. Maybe that might help. Stop my video, maybe few minutes. It will help. So I'll start a new browser. Okay. And I'll do the same thing for Indeed, right? So Indeed.com. And this time, again, I'll press F12. So when I press F12, I get this console. I click on this tiny arrow. And when I click on tiny arrow, right? If I click on that and if I move my mouse, it say color coding happen. So if I click on this, it's going to give me this kind of detail. And if I expand that detail, I may see all those item on that. I can move it around. So I can click on that, I can move it around and I can see. So if I click on this side, check it out. I click on this and then I click on this side, then I get ID here. Read for me. What ID you get? What did you get? You click here and click somewhere here. And ID is this. And do you see name? Say name. What is the name? It's okay to speak a little loud. Q. If you are able to see, just give me thumbs up. Only one person. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good. Now do again. Click here and go to this one and search. What did you get here? Quickly tell me what ID you got for this one. Very good. And name is L. Do you guys agree or not? So remember, sorry, yeah. What's the question? Is there a question? Okay.
Also,
So
this
now,
thing is correct.
okay. I'm hoping there is no question. Okay. Anytime when you move mouse, like if I click on mouse, sorry, click here and now go to the button. Click here and go to the button and say, what is the name you got? Click on that and move to the button and tell me the name or ID of the button. Did you get the ID name button? Does it has ID name? No. So this time we have to use XPath. Make sense? Hello. Just follow the flow. You click here and pick the button. Do you have ID name? It's okay to say yes or no, right?
No.
No, thank you, right? So how do I do that? Because my program can only understand ID, name, XPath like that. So if you remember last code we did we see this? Search by name, search by ID, search by XPath. So I can do that, but there is no name, there is no ID. So what should we do? So in order to do so, you need to right click here. Check it out. Follow me, okay? Right click on this line. Do you agree this is the button? Say yes or no. Search job is the button, right? So right click here. Come on, do it. Right click. I hope you guys are following, okay? Not sitting tight. This is not a cinema. Make sure you do this. Right click, go to copy and go to XPath. Right click, copy and XPath. Make sense or no? Hope the screens are visible and everyone is able to follow. Right click, copy, XPath. And when you copy XPath, go to somewhere in a text box and paste that. Do you get something like this? go to not paid and see that. Do you get something like that? Let me repeat again. If you are not paying attention, it's your loss. I'm repeating, I'm showing you that if you don't pay attention, it's your loss because not everything will have ID or name. You got to have XPath. So check it out one more time. You click here. If I click on the button, there is no ID or name. So I right click here. And I copy, go to copy, and I go to XPath. Anybody can follow. Even kid can follow this step, right? It's very simple step. And then I go to Notepad and I paste it and see what I get. So I get XPath. Do you guys agree or not? How many of you got that? At least 5, 10? Okay. Now XPath in 2 minutes. I'll cover that. 2 minutes, okay? So for that, this XPath will change your life, by the way. The reason I'm telling you, whenever you have a problem, the solution will be XPath. You will have a lot of problems. I will be telling honestly. And solution will be XPath because not all people will write ID or name. So how to do so? So there is a quick trainings. I created a video and just want to give you I will go to Infotech forum, which you already have. So let me quickly go to the forum. 2 minutes and you will know XPath very well. Again, you will watch the video and all, you will do all the magic, but I just want to make sure as a good citizen, you know at least XPath very well. Again, it's not a rocket science, it's just a common sense. I'll show you. And within few minutes, some of you know like this. Make sure you pay attention. Don't like roaming around. Make sure you pay attention. Make sure you crystal clear think about that. Then light bulb will automatically happen. Okay. Make sure you see that. In 2 minutes, you will understand. So I have Katalon record and play. And if I scroll all the way down in this, I have created small video for XPath, right? This is just I created today for you. Now, I'm not going to go entire video, but there is something I want to show you. So it will be easier once you do it. So let me make it.
Hello, welcome to IT Expert YouTube video series.
Move it all.
The ancestors.
First of all, when you see this, it's XPath. Sorry, XML, my mistake. This is XML. Do you guys agree? This is picked. Everyone, I need 5-10 minutes. Okay, trust me, lifetime you will use it. Lifetime, I'm telling you, because this is so powerful, so useful. Unfortunately, you don't have to write that. It's everything will be copy paste, but sometimes you may write. So that's why you need to understand. This is your root element, but this is the master. This is called root element. Do you agree? If this is the root, then this become a child element. If this is the element, then this is the text. So this is the element, then this is the text. If this is the element, then this is the text. Are we clear? So if somebody asks, what is your text or element? Very clear? Crystal clear? Okay. Now, please see here. If I want to find title, then I have two choices. Start from here and go here. So I can say start from book. This is forward slash means start from book. And then go to title. And after that, at text, get me text. It will get me Harry Potter. Let me repeat again. So if I want to get a prize, what should I do? Start from book. Then go to price. Then at text. So when you do text, you are getting this. Clear? Now, this is one way. So in this way, you are starting with parent, all the way parent. So this is called absolute path. Speak with me. Absolute path. I personally don't use absolute path more often. Why? Because if somebody adds something additional, then you may have a problem. So there is another way called relative path. So relative path is this. 2/. Start anywhere. As long as price is there. Get me text. So it doesn't matter it is in book or it is in movie, it doesn't matter. It will take it price. As long as this tag is there, it will get it. Make sense? So 2/ means relative path. It means if you have 5 price, it will get all 5 prices. If anywhere in the page, it will get it. Make sense? Now, sometimes, let me go next. Yeah, this is the most powerful slide. Oops, let me remember that. This is the most powerful slide. Let's, everyone, you cannot afford to miss me here, okay? Ready? See, what is the master? Students. What is the child here? Student and student. So if I start this, get all elements, it will get me everything. If I say give me all students, so it will get me these and these both students, because I say get me all student. If I say student ID, so it means it says go to student and get me ID, so 1 and 2, so it will get me 1 and 2, because when I have this thing, it's called attribute. This is element, so element can have attribute, makes sense, just like a primary key. So when you use at ID, it's an attribute. So here, check it out. All students. So how many students you have? 1 and 2. From there, go to name. So each one has name. But from there, get text. So you get a text. So it means both students, Tom and Mike, you will get. Make sense or no? Again, you don't have to memorize. You need to understand. Because when you're doing QA, you may have some need that I need to get, let's say I want to get reading. How should I get reading? So you can say all student. Instead of name, what are you going to say?
Hobby.
Hobby. And then you use text. Do you think it's a rocket science? Not at all, right? Now let's see. All student. But I don't need all student. I only need student which ID equal to 2. So I will get student ID equal to 2. So in that case, I will get that student. Make sense? Now here, count student means how many students I have? 2. So this will give me answer 2. I can say sum student ID. So student, which is this ID, here is 1 and here is 2. 1 plus 2, 3. So this gives me 3. Make sense? Now I'm going to ask you a question. Let's say I want to get Mike. What would be the command?
Student name 2.
Student name
Student name text.
ID at 2
I have to do
in
2 here.
text.
I have to do 2 here. Make sense? Sir? Why 2? Because if it index 2, then it will go here. Index 1, it will
Looking
go
for
here.
icon.
Make sense? So when you're in Costco, listen carefully. This is very powerful. In your Costco, you're doing product search, and you have 4th item to search. So your product 1, product 2. This is the array list. So you have to pick the 4th item. So how are you going to pick this way? No one's going to tell you. Make sense? So if ID and name is there, no problem. But if ID and name is not there, then the only solution is XPath. Make sense or not? Let's assume. Let's say I want to get this top. Then in that case, I'm going to use like 1, name and text. If you just know this, majority problem will be solved. Now, many people don't know how XPath works. So you can download plugin. You can download plugin which can give you XPath. So when I did console, you might notice that I did console. When I copy, do you guys see this? This is the XPath. So how do you read that? So read this thing. When you have 2 slash, it's called relative path. Star means any element. Speak with me.
Any element.
And when you do rectangle bracket, it means attribute. The attribute is job search. Just like in our example, if you see in our example, we have 2, 1 and 2. Do you see here? This 2 is nothing like this 2, right? So instead of here, they have job search, right? So that's called attribute. So what they're doing here, in that case, they're saying attribute is job search. That is the button. It means somewhere they have job search, and that is unique. So no matter if they move that job search button anywhere, it will still work, because you are saying anywhere. You are not asking, you're not giving absolute path. Absolute path means, like example, if I have here, then it will always looking here. But after 5 days you move here, it won't work. But relative path, no matter where you do, it will work, because you are saying anywhere. That's what you're saying, right? All, any element, ID, job search, and button. Now let's go to Google search. Go to Google search. Let's do Google search. So I'm in a Google. Okay. Quickly tell me what is the name of this element. Come on, fast. Quickly tell me the name of this element. Come on, go fast. Who's going to tell me ID or name? Come on. Should not take this long. Come on.
Name.
Come on, tell me ID or name of this. Come on, you know how to do F12. Come on. Should be quickly. I was expecting 5 people should have jumped now. Come on.
ID equal input.
That's one. Come on, come on. How long it's taking F12? See, look at that, how fast it is. F12. You click F12, you click the arrow, and how long it takes, guys. Oh my God, you guys took like a whole life. Huh? Whole life you took it.
ID input.
Oh my God, it took like 10 minutes. Huh? It should not take this long. Make sense or no? So I can search this element with many ways. Example, I can say like this with any element, or I can say input. Please pay attention. Input. Then in rectangle block, I can use any element. I can say type search. So can I say add type search? Can I say that? Yes or no? I can also use ID. So I have ID. So what should I do here? Input. Input is the box. Yes or no? Then I can say add ID equals to what? Input. I can search yes or no. So I can use XPath as long as I know what I'm happening, right? Now let's go to Facebook. Come on, fast. Facebook. Oh man, I don't want to go to the Facebook. Let's do like, sorry, my mistake. Let's do Priceline, my mistake. Priceline.com. Let's Priceline. Priceline.com. Come on, go fast. Okay, press F12. Press F12 and tell me what is the name or ID of this guy. Come on, fast.
Input.
No, input should not be the name. Come on. Input. So what did you get? F12. Now click on that and click on this. Click on this and click on this. So what do you get? Here you go. Click and then click. So this is what you have. Is this input?
And locator, yeah.
So the correct is not this. This is not the one. I'm not interested in this one. I'm interested in this one. Make sense? ID or name I'm interested. Come on, give me another one. Come on, this one. Come on, fast. Give me this one and give me this one. Come on, fast. Good. Now you speak. Come on, give me another one. Very good. Awesome. Now go give me the blue button. The button you have blue button, right? The search button. Find your hotel. Give me what's the name or ID. And right click and get me the XPath. Right click and copy XPath. Any item you want, right click on the line and go to copy and get me XPath. Go a little fast, right?
This ID pair of hotels.
Now you're talking. Make sense? Right? Go to Costco now. Go to another website. Come on fast. Go to Costco. Go to Costco. Give me the first element name. Come on. The first one which we are going to see here. This text box. What's the name? Very good. Now give me this one. This one. What is this one? Sorry? Head. Time. Right? Right. So every element you can have ID, name, or XPath. So example, let's say I don't know about this one. In that case, I can get XPath or ID or name. ID name, it's easy. But if you don't get ID name, then you need to do XPath. But you got the idea. Makes sense or not? For like this week lab, you don't need too much to know, but at least I gave you XPath. Am I right? Next week we're going to do, which will require a little bit harder XPath. But once you know XPath, it's easy. Are we clear? Okay. So now we are going to do Indeed search. So we'll go back to Indeed, back to business. Indeed. And we are going to do this search through Katalon. Okay, ready? So I'm going to delete all my, I will stop this thing, whatever I have window. So I close this window. So I'll back to here and I'm going to delete my, what do you call suite. I'm going to delete my suite. So delete all my suite, no data. I don't want data. So no, delete my data also, right? So I'm starting from 0. Make sense? Right? Let's create a test suite. This time we're going to create a suite. So test suite, just create suite 1. So we create test suites and then we're going to click on plus and create a test cases. Easy, right? You need a speed, okay, guys? Don't go too slow because you know the job you are going to do, speed matters. Okay. So click on that and test case 1. Remember one thing, speed matters. Now your suite here and your test case here. Now we're going to capture Indeed. You know what to capture. This time we're going to capture SQL and we are going to capture Detroit, Michigan. Detroit, comma, Michigan, right? Or MI. Make sense or no? We're going to do SQL, Detroit, comma, MI. So let's slowly and steadily, we can say we're going to record now. Ready? Now, it should open the browser. For me, where did my browser go? So it did not open the browser. So I'm going to close everything and I'm going to start again. There's nothing open. Where is my browser? Why my browser did not open? So again, record. Something is wrong. My browser didn't open. So let me close everything. Where is my browser? The browser did not open. So this time again, let's see. Open. Okay. Test suite is here. I'm writing test case and record. Come on, open browser. Yes, this time open. So indeed.com, enter. What issue? I'm writing SQL. And then instead of this, I'm going to highlight and delete. So I'm going to delete that. And I'm writing Detroit, comma, Michigan. And then I'm going to click on search job. And then I'm going to right click on this text. See here, SQL jobs. I'm going to right click on this text, right click on this text, right click on this text, and we'll say right click, and we'll say Katalon, verify text, verify text. And then I'll go back to and stop it. Close browser. Sometime if it happens like that, close everything and start. In that case, everything will work. Sometime it happens. So you just need to close all your Google Chrome and then start. Good. If you are able to capture, awesome. Unless you know, again, we did the same exercise. Right? You might notice that our Katalon is so smart, it captures ID appropriately, but when it doesn't find ID, it captures XPath appropriately. Now you know how to read this XPath. Do you guys agree? Buttons, attribute, type, submit. Right? Clearly you can understand. Do you guys agree or not? Pretty neat. Now I know what I'm reading. Because XPath is nothing but finding a particular element from XML document. Once you capture it, now play it and see if it works for you. Once you capture all SQL, Detroit, Michigan, and all, play test case and see if it works. If it works, no problem. Even like some red, some green, don't worry about it. Just see, are you able to navigate it? Sometimes it will be normal that it works and sometimes doesn't work. As I say, it's a reliability issue, but overall it's going to do all your magic. I'm going to give my code anyhow. So you can say I'm lucky today. Everything is working for me, right? Give me thumbs up if you are able to do so far. Okay, 1, 2. Good. So far, so good. Awesome. So I'm hoping that you are able to run, and if you capture it, great. If you are not captured, I'm still recording the session, so you will have access to the recording. Then you can try that also. Once you capture it, you can just do play and run it and see that. So I am running a couple of times, but it all time it's going to run because today is my lucky day, right? Everything is working, right? Good. Now, these steps are perfectly working. Again, even your steps are not working, you can still export and you can still modify. So now, at this moment, I'm hoping that you have something captured, something is working. If it is not working, don't worry about it. I'm going to give my method. So now I'm going to go to export. And I'm going to export TestNG. You know why we are doing TestNG? Because we have tested that. Good. So right now we'll keep it here and we'll go to NetBeans. Ready? So we'll start a brand new project. So file, new project, file, new project. And this time, Maven, and we'll select the project name is Indeed. Indeed Search. That's the project name, Indeed Search. Make sense or no? Remember, we are just doing like a hello world type of thing, but we will learn more detail next week. I want to make sure you understand the mechanism, and that's why we are spending more time in mechanism. So finish. So somewhere I will have Indeed Search. I will expand and I'll make sure the palm.xml I double check. There is no issue with palm.xml. Everything looks pretty neat, right? You can expand your source, nothing is there, and palm.xml. At this moment, any question, concerns, doubt? Everyone is doing good? This one is not mine. Did I create this? Oh, maybe it's already there. Okay. It's that Indeed Search, right? So now
Where is Indeed Search and Filter?
you can see that. Now right click on a project, right click on a project, right click on a project and say new, and this time you will have a TestNG. Okay. Select that and we're gonna name I capital Indeed Test, T capital Test. And you can give a project package name test.com. Anything you can give, but I'm giving this thing. Always remember T capital and I is just capital because it's a class, but T capital Jenkins like this T capital. And this is our package. Okay. Right. And finish. So when you do that, your palm.xml will be updated. So double click on your palm.xml and see, did you get a dependencies or not? Yes. So that is one thing we need to see, because you should not have any error at this moment. Many people, what they do, even though I said TestNG, they select JUnit. And there is a problem with that. That's why I'm not using JUnit, because JUnit has a problem. So I'm using TestNG. Right? Can I count everyone is with me so far? Now, you know our forum. You don't have to go to forum. If you're already in a chat, I will give you chat through, because last project we already did. So I'm not going to go to forum either. I will use my last project palm.xml, which I have. From there, I'm going to select Selenium jar and I'm going to put it in a chat room. If you have that, you can copy also. So you can see here, I have dependency, this thing. I already have it, so I don't need to go to forum. Do you agree or not? Last project which we did, we have selected dependencies. So you can copy this thing. Make sense? I put it in a chat in case if you don't. So you just copy this and then put in your palm.xml, which is after the dependency, and make sure you save that and make sure you don't have any error. Give me thumbs up if you're able to do that. Awesome. Good. Right? This is like a kind of gold. You always need that and you will not forget it. Just like you're driving car and you always need a key and driver license and insurance or registration. Right? These are like natural. Every day you need. Same thing. You need every day, right? You won't forget. Even because you're doing first time, you might have feel awkward, but after a couple of times, it become a second nature. So we are done with that. Now let's go to indeed test. And this is the place where we're going to copy paste our code from Katalon. Good news, I have a Katalon. First thing, what am I going to copy? Only 2 lines. Do you guys agree? Every time I copy, I'm going to paste in a chat room. So in case if you are having trouble, you can get that. This 2 line, right? So if I go back to my indeed, you see where I'm pasting here. So you know exactly where I paste. I will have an error and I'm going to import it. If the import doesn't work, you know what to do. Make sure you save palm.xml. In case if you have not saved palm.xml, always save it. Always save the palm.xml. And if you click here, you should have import. If import doesn't come up, then you have to right click on a project and you have to say clean build. And after a few seconds, try again. You will be able to see the import. Because if it doesn't come, we are a problem. So for me, import is coming, I'm able to import it. So far, if you are with me, give me thumbs up, so at least I know that you are good. Right? People on phone. Right? Awesome. Awesome. Good. Now,
I'm not.
go fast a little bit because we are now waiting. Click here and it should be able to import. Say yes. Compilation error is good.
Yes, it's done.
Okay. I'm now expecting homework. Okay, you are owing me homework. Okay, that shows me that homework really helps, guys. Okay, move on. Now move on. So I'm going to go back to here. Nothing will become easy unless we do it, right? So please see here, these 2 lines. I need these 2 lines. These 2 lines I need from setup, right? And I'm going to copy these 2 lines. I'm going to paste in a chat, but then let me do 1 minute later. I'll go back to my before method. And inside that, I'm going to paste. But when I paste this line, I can import this. I can import this class, no problem at all. But this is empty. So I already have done last class. So I'm going to copy that golden line. I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste this. Always I need that. So I'm going to paste it here. This thing from last class, which is Google class. And those who are having need, I'm going to push in a chat room. So you can see that these 2 lines I always do though. In a before method, setup method, this thing. Remember we downloaded the, what do you call, our Gecko driver, if you remember that. Right? You should never forget about this thing, otherwise it won't work. Okay. If you just know this and a little bit, people will welcome you for the job. I can tell you. Unfortunately, we don't do certain easy steps because this is like, as I said before, Selenium becomes so easy once you know the Java. Now this part is done. I gave you the code for this 2 line, which you put in a setup. Now I'll go to Katalon and I'm going to copy this method, which I'm also going to paste in a chat room. This method, please understand, this method which I'm getting here is I'm going to paste at the end of the class, means before the last curly bracket, So you want to paste here. Make sure you see on the screen. This is the last curly bracket, and this is this method. I'm going to paste it here. So if I do Control V, it's there, and then slowly you import. Make sure you import. Error will disappear. When the last error you have, you need to do system out. Remember we talk about S out, tab. And the reason we do that because this method is not there. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it here like that. This is the only thing I need. In case you see on the screen, these items I wrap into system.out. Now, any questions so far? We just did import. Oh, sorry, this test also I need to import. Remember this line we are changing to system out. Good. Everyone is doing good. You might notice that anytime it finds ID, it's a by ID. But if it's not finding, it's a by XPath. And now we know that this is the button, this is the attribute looking for submit, and then it does click. If it is clicking, clear, whenever send key means typing, clicking means clicking, clear means clear, send key means typing. Okay. You may see one error. I'll show you. Because this site works a little differently, so you will see some error. I'll show you how to fix that. But right now looks everything good. Now go to after method and write down this thing, driver.close. Right? Driver.close like that. After method. Driver.close. Driver.close. Now we are almost done to run. So first double check one more time that we have two lines here. And we imported, there is no red color. Then we added our Gecko driver, which is in before method. Right? Before method, we added our Gecko driver with the path, right? No problem there. Then we added whole test method, which will open the indeed. It will do all the magic and then it will type and then it assert. I'm pretty positive it will fail. The reason it will fail because this has a problem. Here, there is a problem. I know that based on experience. And I'll show you the peculiar problem, how to solve that. No worries about it. So now I'm going to save it and there is no red color. There is no red color. If there is a red color, I have to fix it because I just imported. The only change I made is this thing. I typed this thing and added, and only I made type here in after method. So now if I right click and test, technically speaking, browser will open and it should continue and you should be able to go, but you will not get the result. It will error out. The reason it will error out because they have some different way they have implemented. So there is a solution for that. I hope no one is in parking lot, right? We are all going in a bus. I'm hoping all of you will be able to see. So right now it's starting SQL and it's going to write. See, you can see that mistake. Do you see that? It is not deleting the previous value. So my test is failing. It is writing Detroit and Michigan together. So that's the problem. It's not going to work because it is not going to get the result because it is typing something weird. And the reason it is because some reason they have some issue here. Let me repeat one more time. If you see that, I'm showing you what the problem is. Because if you don't understand the problem, you don't know the solution also. They have a very peculiar problem. Indeed also only have this thing. Let me show you. Please pay attention. When it types SQL without any problem. But when it types Detroit, it append with the previous data. So whatever previous data I had, like Schaumburg, Illinois, it is adding some, if data is there, it's not clearing this data. Make sense? So this peculiar problem, there's a special, see, even though I'm saying that clear it, I'm saying clear it, and then right, still it's not doing it. To solve this problem, there is a special technique we need to use. So let me just show you that. So Selenium, like control, Selenium control A and delete. So there's a special way you can delete that, very special way. So we have to use something like this. Send keys, key.control A and delete. So now I'm gonna copy this part. Bear with me. Let me do it and I'll give you. So here, when I do send keys, right, Detroit, I need to copy this part here also one more time. So let me do that. So up to this, I'll copy. Give me 1 second, so you'll see. And now this will go in the parentheses. Please understand, like that, and semicolon. And this should be imported. What it does, it highlights as a control A and it deletes. So let me show you what it does, so you will understand. So basically, it does control A. Control A means you select like that, and then press delete. So definitely it's gonna click. Now, if you see this line, I'm gonna paste in a chat room, so that way you can copy paste also. Now see the magic. Now when you run it, it will do magic. I put it in a chat, the line. Now it's gonna run. It will do like this properly. Now it's searching SQL. See, deleted, and it did magic. And this time test really really executed successfully. And that's a data. And I got successful result. Give me thumbs up if you are able to run it. And if you are not able to run, you can always watch this recording also. I'll try my best that tomorrow you will have the recording, but I'm hoping how super it is, how easy it is, because you are not doing too much logic here. So the Selenium is all about finding the elements and then either clearing, clicking, typing. When you type, it's called send key. That's all mostly you do in Selenium. This is the web element, means nothing but web page has element, right? You find the element first. And what do you want to do? Either click it, or you type it, or you clear it, like that, and you try to do automation. So Selenium is all about automation, right? And you can run this test as many times as you want. Normally in the real life, writing one test case, normally they give you 2 days to do that. You can do in 10 minutes. Now think about the productivity, because majority of people try to type this. They type, but because you are using Katalon IDE, you don't have to type. The worst come worst, you might want to change this thing instead of ID. If you want to do by name, by XPath, you know now how to do that. So you can change that also. So if you don't like this one, you can change. So this is called locator. This is called locator. Locator strategy. We will talk next week more detail about that locator strategy, because you need to know how to locate particular element, and then you do the magic. So next week we're going to go in deeper dive. But those who are not doing homework, I will be telling you, you are unnecessarily losing the value of your career, because if you don't do now this type of homework, then you are not going to be ready for the QA career part. I'll be very honest with you, because this is what people are expecting you should know. So those who are smart people not doing homework, I would encourage you to do homework. I'm hoping you are listening. I'm hoping you will do the homework, because still it's not too late. I know you might have missed some homework, but still you can do it. That's complete my today's sessions. Now let's do project. So let's talk about project. Okay. So first thing first, make sure you see on the screen. So I'll explain the project. Hello. Let's talk about project for a few minutes and we are done. We are almost finished line. Because project is coming very fast. Okay, we want to make sure we respect our project timeline. The project is not too far now. It's around almost 3 to 5 weeks, I would say. So if I go to Selenium, sorry, my mistake. QL, hello, please. Quality assurance. If I go to quality assurance, right? Make sure you see on the screen. If you go to quality assurance, you have Selenium project, which is written like that. Selenium project. Please see on the screen, Selenium project. Now in Selenium project, if I click on that, I kind of added a lot of details so you can have fun. The project detail is in PDF file. Project detail is in PDF file, but this project informations are here. Why you should do this project? I can tell you, a person who knows Java very well, which you know, most of you know very well, because you have done homework, you have done a project, you are much more Java expert than normally industry is looking for. So you are kind of ahead. Then you are knowing Selenium, so they are looking for, but you need a one working example. So that's why we are creating a working example. So for your project, you should be using all the technology we covered in this class. Some of you are taking my Agile Scrum class, which is on, I believe, in Wednesday. And rest of the technology, which I have not covered, I'll cover. But overall, you can see Java, Git, TestNG, Katalon, Maven, Jenkins. We are going to connect all the dots. Make sense? Now, the project is very important because in interview, people will ask you what project you worked and what kind of thing you did. If you don't do project, don't ask me that I didn't get a job, I did not go forward, because without project, you will not have a story. So make sure you have a story. Now, how do I do project? So pick a project which you should enjoy it. So the example, most of you should pick a good company. Like I give some example, but if you feel like some other company I can use, you can do that. More is better. Many of you, and I will be very honest with you, you are doing hardly a one simple spoon activity. If you do spoon activity, you are actually slowing your own progress. I would do crazy activity, lot more. Why? Because then I go to proudly I go in interview and I can tell about this. I have done this. I have done this. I have done this. If you just do simple one activity, I don't have any problem. I'll accept as your project, but you will not get a second chance because once this project complete, your entire course complete. This is your capstone, right? So if you go for any college, capstone project, people do very unique work. Why? Because during campus interview, students get a job and they get a job without even experience because they have done a good project. You have the similar opportunity waiting for you. After 4 to 5 weeks, once you complete the project and you start applying, the first thing people will ask, what your project work you have you done? And you should be able to explain. And that's why you have to pick a site with your team member where you can enjoy. Now, let's say you pick the site. Then you have to think about Agile Scrum knowledge. And you have to think about Epic. You have to think about story. And you have to think about task. You may want to use Jira and try to use just like you're using in the real life. You may say, but I forgot about it. Then you can start the class, which is on Wednesday. You're most welcome to repeat. Remember, if you forgot, you can prepare. But you can say, I will do next time. Then I will tell you, you will lose 1 year. Because you need to go for interview practice immediately around March, April. If you say, I will do later, you will be in 2024. Who knows 2024, there might not be a demand on Selenium. It means your lifetime you lost opportunity. So never do tomorrow. Tomorrow never happens. Tomorrow will become today. So do it now and win the success. I can give you guarantee. If you follow my footstep, written guarantee, by March you will have a job. Worst come worst by June. But if you don't do follow, then don't even ask me, hey, I didn't get a job. Because I prepare very heavily. You are very close. So do really good job. So how you do, follow the step. Make sure you meet with your team at daily basis. Set up your daily stand-up. 15 minutes meeting every day. Everyone should have a task. Everyone should have status. Next day again, daily stand-up. Next day again, daily stand-up. Every day task. Don't just do work, plan it well. Just like we did in Agile, we do sprint and then we have a story. Story is broken down to tasks. Think about estimation, how long this task will take, maybe 4 hours, and then start. How long it take? Oh, it take 2 hours. Now you have better estimation. Like that, continuously do that. This way you have complete understanding because your interview is the last project and last project is this project. Make sense? So you have to work on that. Communicate status update to your group on daily basis. They may ask how you communicate. You don't have to memorize it, you have to feel it. And the best way to feel is now when you work with your group. If possible, meet in person, not WhatsApp and Zoom again. Work every day. If you don't work for yourself every day, who is going to work for you, right? You got to work. You say, but I'm busy. Then busy is not a business. You got to work. If you have a team member who is not having a time, that person might lose, but you should not stop. You should keep going with those 2 or 3 members who are meeting every day. Keep the other people in the group, no problem, but you should not just wait because the others are not available. You should continue that. Make sense? Now, meet in person, as I said, prepare a good presentation slides and practice. Now, how this project is, so if you click on that, this is the project detail. Now, when you do project details, I personally see most of the students don't worry about this date. This is like old. You will read about it. I want you to do this thing. Now, the goal of the exercise, you are going to do all those requirements. You're going to read about the requirement. You will be using a lot of technology of that. Okay. Don't worry about this. 4 students will be flexible in that. You read about application architecture. You will be read about test plan. You read about test cases. And I gave a reference for each and everything. I have given reference here. So if you read the reference, you are going forward. So you click here. I gave you a link here. What is the architecture means? What is test plan means? So everything what I asked, there is a reference here. So you don't have to worry about, oh my God, I don't know. When you read a little bit, you will be able to navigate it. And most of the things we have in our Confluence page. So when we start now to end, there are so many things you don't know. I will prepare you in coming class like that. But then you are making, when I teach it, you do the work. When I teach, you do the work. When I teach, you do the work. Make sense or no? So that way you can continue. So right now, let's example. If you want to do Indeed project, you know how to capture that. So let's say tomorrow you will do Costco, you can capture it because you know how Katalon works. It may not be 100% working, but at least you can get started. Yes or no? And you will have a question, hey, this is not working. Hey, this is not working. Now you start learning about it. So far, so good. Now you may say, but I still don't understand. Good news, I have put here a couple of students' projects, and many students have got a job. And I really like those projects. So I added some project thing, and you can go through that, and you will enjoy this thing. Students have done presentations, see Amazon shopping experience, and then other students have done Java Selenium project. So go through that student project. If they didn't, if they get a job, we can do better than them. Yes or no? Because they did like a couple of years back. We have a lot more knowledge, right? Now, I want to do Jenkins configuration. So Jenkins configuration next week, most likely we'll install Jenkins. So when we do your test cases, I want you to receive email, test pass or test fail. I want you to do some kind of project details. So last couple of students have given me their project, their PowerPoint also. So you can happy to read their PowerPoint. Some students were so kind, so they give you the source code also. So you can click here, and they use the website called CarGuru. Some people use Chase. Click on that and all. The students who have done that, they all got job. Not one. All students and whole project got job. Not on second or third round interview, mostly first round. And these are good people. They are here. We can happy to meet. They are in our WhatsApp group. So you can find them by name and you can connect with them also. Okay. Again, remember your life, how far and how further you want to go. You have to extend. You can find there are many people whom you can reach out, right? Good news, the code is there. So you can see their code. Again, I don't want you to do CarGuru. You pick another site, right? But you can take a reference what they have done. Data-driven test case, I'll cover that in coming class. We already talked on that. Then Selenium interview questions, how Jenkins works. I put it the video here, right? And there are so many things I'll cover in coming class also. So don't worry about it. But right now you have project details here in quality assurance under Java Selenium post. Make sense or no? Now, 2 questions I have before we adjourn the class. Do you want to continue the same group as you had in Java, or you want to create a separate group? What do you want to do?
Same.
I heard word same.
Yes, please.
I don't have any problem if you want to continue with the group, but then group is so big, make sure you do super duper job. Because when group is big, and if you do less smaller small project, then you are not going to learn, right? So last week, how many groups we had? 2 or 3?
3.
So let's continue with that same group with the project. I do not have any problem, but promise yourself that you're going to do more. Trust me, when I hire people, whatever you know right now, I would hire you. I'm not kidding. Almost all interview people ask only this thing. Only this three thing. Google search, 3 lines, that's it. If you write, you're hired. Ask yourself question. If people hire only 3 lines, just open the browser. Why? Because no college teaches Selenium. No college teach. So there is no person in the market who knows Selenium and sit ideal. Only person in the market, a person who never tries Selenium. So Selenium is easy to find a job, and that's the reason it's a hard kick in the market. Trust me. And what you're going to learn right now in next couple of weeks or whatever, you will become an advanced level, not in a basic. When you go in interview with this confident knowledge, you will do much better. Sometimes you need to sell yourself because it's a first job. But I can give you guarantee it will work. Make sense or not? But you need to do project. Without project, you won't have a story. Clear? And that's all I have for tonight. I'll see you guys next week. Just want a couple of announcements that this Saturday, we are starting QA manual class at 2 o'clock. This Saturday, QA manual class 2 o'clock. So in case if you want to repeat the class, just drop email to Harish or me, and I'll add you in the Google class in person, or you can do online also. So, while you are going through your interview process, it's also going to give you help because everything will be fresh. I really want you to have a job in March. Okay. So all things will be refreshed in your mind. Many of you can start Agile Scrum class also. It will also be fresh in your mind, and this project will not take too much time because you already have done Java. So it's very simple now. So you can refresh all those memory. So QA manual class is on Saturday, this Saturday. What time? 2 o'clock. And Scrum class, which is on Wednesday, 6:30. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you.